Top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
Hey, Blake. Morning. How you doing?
Good. What do you have for us on this Tuesday morning?
Well, the good news is the police have confirmed that they now have, in custody, Corey Miles, who, as you recall, they had been looking for relating to gun-related offenses. So they now have him. As of yesterday, he was arrested. So again, I should mention, because a lot of people did go, wait a minute, didn't we see that he was just arrested a couple days ago? And yeah, so they've got him back.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, I guess he got bail, and then they wanted him for something else, and he disappeared. So it's like the situation that just keeps on giving.
Well, they knew where to find him, rather.
Well, they had put out an APB for him, so they didn't know where to find him. But
all points bulletin.
Yes, they have now found him. The Community Ways has made an announcement. The flights from Little Cayman yesterday were actually canceled because of an inoperable fire truck, which did not allow them to fly. So they're unsure if the issue will be resolved today. However, they've said that if it's not resolved today, they've got a plan B where they will shuttle affected passengers by boat between Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, and then they will take them from Cayman Brac to Grand Cayman via plane. So there is a plan.
Well, I understand there's that safety issue, right? If something did go wrong, but it's something. I mean, you gotta be confident your planes are going to run just fine. I mean,
well, I think it's actually against the law. They can't do it. Yeah. These are all like FAA, and they have got UK aviation regulations that they have to follow. So it's not really a question of, if they think in that 5 minutes something might happen. It's just that they can't even take the chance by law. So, this is a story that we have followed from when this young lady went missing in Florida. Mia, I don't know if you remember this case. This is Mia Marcano, only 19 years old. Unfortunately, she was killed by a man in the Orlando area in her apartment complex where she worked, and he also worked as a maintenance man. So some good is coming out of this. Governor Ron Santos has signed Mia's law, and it came into effect in January the 1st. And basically, this law requires landlords to get a background check on apartment complex employees. I mean, it's shocking to think that this has never been in place before. But anyone with a violent criminal history or anyone listed as a sexual offender or sexual predator will not be eligible for hire. So thank God for that. And as you know, the man who is believed to have killed her, because they've closed the case, actually did have a history of some other things in his record. And they feel like, there's a lot that could have prevented this, including if he was never hired in the first place. So this has a bit of a Cayman connection because her father is DJ Marlon Marcano, who's originally from Trinidad. And he has a lot of connections to, other DJs on the island. A lot of people in the music industry actually know him. So it was something that his DJ name is DJ Eternal Vibes. So it was definitely something that took a toll. And a lot of people, even here, people who were very, very close to the family, were saddened by this event.
Yeah, sad story. But as you said, at least there's a law in place.
Yeah, something's coming out of it. Right. So those are some of your news headlines this morning. And
thanks, Sandy.
We did get some more details, by the way, just FYI, in that whole immigration situation with the lady who came in, who was then deported on murder charges back to Jamaica.
Right.
So apparently she came in legally on a work permit.
Okay. But wasn't she wanted?
Yes, but the Jamaican authorities did not know her proper name at the time. So she came in on her documents, and we're going to get into some of the details of exactly how she managed to pull it off. But she did come in legally on her documents, and it was after the fact that they discovered who she really was. And then they quickly noted that she was in the Cayman Islands, and it was just a matter of days before we were able to extradite her back.
Wow. Well, you can catch that story and more on Sandy's show coming up at 7:30 on Bobo 89.1 FM. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, great. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Okay, folks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I seem to be having a little bit of an issue this morning with one of my apps, which is I call it my makeup app now because it certainly saves me from having to wear makeup in the morning. But let's talk about that and tons of other things. Let's kick off the show. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are getting through this week. What a beautiful week, I tell you. How are you guys doing? Hope that everyone is well. It looks like we're back up and live on Facebook and had a little bit of a glitch yesterday. Don't quite know what happened. I appreciate the folks over at Flow. They were like, is it us today? And I said, no, I'm happy to report that it has nothing to do with you guys at all. It literally, I've seen it happen before, just a little bit of a Facebook glitch. And, these things happen. Listen, Facebook is not up 24/7. It has outages on occasion. Most of us don't even recognize when there is an outage because it's so, it might happen in the middle of the night when we're sleeping or, if it doesn't last very long, again, we're not going to notice that either. But this one happened right in the middle of the show. Like we were literally cracking along, had great numbers, and it just went bloop. And then everybody's like, where did you go? Where did Facebook go? What's going on? So these things happen, folks. And, you learn very, very quickly in life, especially when it comes to technology. You just keep it moving. You try to figure it out on the fly if you can. And if you can't, you just literally hey, let's just keep going. It is what it is. And we just keep going. So, I don't have any other explanation for it. Let's not even spend any more time on it. Life is short. Let's get this train on the road, as they say. And it is what it is. So I'm having a little bit of something else going on this morning that I'm trying to rectify. And so if I can get that sorted out, then we will be back to having, see there, I look grayish and I'm aware that you can't see me. I'm actually trying to fix an issue. So I don't know what's going on this morning. So filter's not working. All right, there's probably no way to fix that. It's one of those things where it's probably going to require a computer restart. And we cannot restart the computer in the middle of the show, folks. It just doesn't work. So don't worry about it if you can't see me. I always think it's weird. Why do people need to see me? Is hearing me not enough? Apparently not. So anyway, yes, I don't know what's going on there. It is what it is. Would you rather see a bad version of me than not see me at all? That's such an interesting question. But yes, I don't know what's going on. I look like I'm like in black and white, which is super weird. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Let's get the show on the road. We got lots to talk about this morning. Let me see who is here. And people message me like, I can't see you, as though I don't know that. I'm just like, yes, I'm so much aware of the fact that you can't see me. Hello. Telephone number 936-BOBO. Call in if you'd like. There's so many moving parts to what happens in the morning here on the program. I'll still work in the background and see if I can resolve this, but I kind of don't think so. In fact, did I tell you guys that my filter is going to disappear soon? I got a notice from this company. They're like, oh, as of, I can't even remember what date, our app is no longer going to be not only downloadable, but you can't use it anymore. And I'm thinking, what? This has saved me so much work in the morning. The only thing I have to do is my lips, put on a little bit of lip gloss or lipstick, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about mascara. I don't have to put on foundation. Like, it just makes me look so good. So I got to find an alternative to this because, gosh, I love this app. Makes me look good all the time. So this one says, as the saying goes, we love you and wants all of you. Oh gosh, that is so funny. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys want to see what I'm wearing. You're like, what's Sandy got on today? Anything interesting? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it is what it is. Oh, let me try this. Let me see if this is going to make a difference. This person says warts and all. Ooh, honey, chill. Yes. Yeah, it's strange, but this just isn't picking up on my camera. Huh. Okay, maybe I just did it. Hold on. Did I just figure it out? Ooh, look at me being all techie. Look at that. Yeah, honey child. Looks like I just fixed the issue. Wait a minute. Ta-da! I don't know which filter this is, though. This is the one that I normally use because this is all kind of glittery stuff. So hold on. Let me see if I can. I like that other one because it's not too much. There we go. It's like a little bit, like it does contouring in here, and it gives me a little bit of blush, and then it gives me eyes, and it just smooths out the skin. It makes me look like I'm wearing foundation. And as you guys know, oh God, I hate foundation. Women, can anybody relate to me in foundation? Oh, it's so cakey and ugh. And some people love to cake it on. Like they waste so much foundation. I'm just like, damn. When I go into, once in a while you go to makeup artists and you get a little makeover, and they put on so much foundation, and it's like 3 layers, and then contouring cream, and they get under the eyes. And I mean, it looks good. It just doesn't look anywhere near natural. And so can I just get a little puff, where I just dab it to, nobody has perfect skin. So we've all got little discoloration bits and pieces here and there. I'm like, can I just get a little blush? So that's what I love about this filter. It's like not too much. There's some people who don't even know. They're like, you look good, but I can't figure out what it is. And I'm like, folks, it's called a filter. When I first started using it, people were like, oh my God, your makeup is so on point. I'm like, no, honey child, and I got no time for no makeup in the mornings. But it does really, it's great because it makes me look decent without having to do very much. Good morning, Diamond Princess, Miss Vernita, Ervelyn and Carmelie, Olivia, Renika are here. Yes, Brenda, so good to see you, Sunshine. Miss Brenda looking good, her profile photo. Faith, good morning to you. Says, take it to them Tuesday. Yes, I love it. Miss Brenda also says, I can't see you. Can you see me now? We'll be like that commercial, that telephone commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you see me now? She said, yeah, got you now. Nathina says, sexy diva Sandy. Hey, girl, what's up? Elizabeth is in the house. Good morning. Miss Brenda's like, I see you in black and white. Atlas is back to manual makeup. I guess so. If I can't find another solution after this one expires this month, I guess I will be back to normal. How boring is that? The other thing I loved about this filter is I could do all kind of fun stuff. Remember, like for Halloween, I could put on a little Halloween costume. For Christmas, I could dress up as Santa. Yeah, the fun times, I tell you, they're always trying to take the fun times from you. Buenos dias to the beautiful Miss Daisy. Grandma, how are you? Think Twice says, am I an immigration lawyer? No, I'm not. I'm not even a lawyer. I'm moonlighting. Think Twice. You know, there's some people who don't want to admit that they don't have the expertise that people think. I'm going to tell you all a funny story. So there is someone, I'm not going to call any names because I'm not trying to embarrass a person, but there is someone who often talks about like the degrees that they have, academic qualifications. And one of the things that they do, I'm not even going to tell you what industry they're in because you'll probably figure it out. But one of the things that they always do is they talk about the fact that they have a associate's degree and they have a master's degree and they have a law degree. And I'm thinking, who on earth talks about an associate's degree? The associate's degree is literally null and void once you have the bachelor's, because the associate's is like the first half of the bachelor's. And if you actually get the bachelor's, that kind of just falls away. And I've always found it really, really peculiar that every time this person puts something up to say, oh, you know, this is their qualifications, support them, blah, 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 they're always mentioning this darn associate's degree. And I think to myself, wow, it looks like they could have learned a couple more things with that associate's degree. I'm just saying. But it is what it is. And, you know, they also have a law degree. So when people say that, oh, you're a lawyer, they never correct people. I try to correct people as much as I can because honestly, I'm not a lawyer. That's the honest position. I have a law degree and there's a difference. In some jurisdictions, it's possible that once you have a law degree, is that correct? I'm trying to think if that applies in any jurisdiction. I mean, you always have to get called to the bar. So I don't even think just having a law degree in any jurisdiction, even the Americans, would be enough to qualify you as an attorney at law. In the UK, there's a bit more that's required after the actual law degree. So you've got to do what they call locally the PPC, the professional practice course, or the LPC or whatever in London, which is sort of the practical aspect of it. And then, you know, you've got to do articles, which is like your internship. And then you have someone sign off on your articles. All these things are required. It's a lot longer process than you think before you can become or get called to the bar in these jurisdictions. So no, I'm not a lawyer, but we're going to talk about immigration anyway. And we're not talking about immigration from this perspective of me trying to be a lawyer, because that's not what this is about. This is a real common sense discussion that we're going to be having this morning, because there are a lot of little things that are wrong with our current system, Think Twice, that we need to fix. So someone said they can't find me on Facebook. It's there. Just click on the link. We are live today on Facebook. So there you go. That should help you out. So yeah, it is what it is. Nathina says that I'm on a diet because I'm looking small. So let me tell you, Atlas actually mentioned yesterday, he did ask the question. I didn't really give him a full answer about the 50 by 50. You guys know I'm trying to lose 50 pounds by August. So here's the latest update. In December, I went to Miami. Child, I actually went to Miami twice, I think, in December. A little power shopping trip. I went once by myself in earlier December. And then my husband, we were planning to be away for Christmas and he couldn't get off island again. So I decided, since I already had purchased tickets and I had a Cayman Airways credit and it was just a big thing, I decided to go ahead and do a trip with just my daughter. We would do like our first mommy-daughter trip. She's only 6 years old. So we did that for a couple days, like literally right before Christmas. We went to Miami. And of course, it's like shopping when you go to Miami. So the earlier trip that I went to, I noticed that I don't recall twisting my left foot in any way, but I must have done something to it. Maybe newer shoes. I wore newer shoes on the trip. And the therapist was saying to me yesterday, like, you got to break in shoes before you decide to do a power walk, even shopping or whatever. But I did something to my foot, Atlas, my left foot. You guys know I have these little feet issues. And I did something extra to that where the entire, like the primary, like the top of the foot, but it goes all the way through, has been really painful since then. So walking even has been a little bit of a challenge for me because I'm walking with pain in my left foot. So, oh gosh, it was not nice. It hasn't been nice. And yeah, so what I did, and I think it might have been a combination of the situation with the shoes, because I'm like wearing closed-toed shoes. Normally I wear open-toed shoes because it's hot in the tropics, whatever. But I went up to Florida and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be doing a lot of walking. Let me wear proper support shoes, and ends up that probably caused the issue. But anyway, yeah, so I've done something. So I've not been able to kickstart my walking component of my 50 to 50. So it's slow to come. I'll have oatmeal again this morning. So most mornings, Monday to Friday, I'm trying to have oatmeal in the morning. I'm trying to have a sensible lunch and a sensible dinner, more fish and vegetables. The good news is I'm not one of those people who hates eating healthy. Like I love a good salad. I love fish. I love vegetables. Most vegetables I have no problem with. I do have a sweet tooth. So I know that this is my Achilles heel, so to speak, because I got a sweet tooth and I got it bad, honey child. I love my chocolates and stuff. Desserts, I'm really bougie when it comes to my desserts. So I like fancy desserts. That's why I love Thai orchid honey chill, because I love my tiramisu and all these kind of things. But if I don't go to those places, I'm not likely to eat those types of dessert, but I'll snack on little chocolates and whatever. So the diet definitely needs some work. I need to drink more water. Trust me, that's my biggest thing. And I'm just cutting out the drinks. But during the holidays, I don't drink alcohol, but my alcohol is like Pepsi. So during the holidays, I was having a little bit extra. Christmas dinner, I indulged in the one meal that's probably 5,000 calories anyway. So Atlas, not full swing, but making some baby steps. So Nathina, I'm not sure if I've actually lost any weight per se, but I've been doing a lot of walking despite the fact that I've got this issue with my foot, just because I've had no choice. Because we've been all over the place. We were like Miami twice, and I was just grinning and bearing it. So yesterday I went to physiotherapy, and the place that I go to, they actually have what's called a shockwave machine. I think they're one of the few places on the island that actually has it. I first had to go to them for my Achilles pain, which was like years that I had that. And that was the only thing that helped. And so I have to do constant stretching, but she did give me a treatment yesterday with the shockwave, and it has helped, because this morning I woke up and it's still painful, but it's nowhere near the level of pain that I was dealing with. So I did a foot soak yesterday in some Epsom salt, and it's probably going to take a little minute to kind of work this out. But I figure, Atlas, I can start slow. I don't have to power walk. And this is what we do, right? Who can relate to this? And this is one of the issues too. As you get older, you can't do this anymore. When you were young, you could go a minute, not exercise, and you're like, oh, okay, and now I got to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever. You get in the gym and you hit it so hard, you're like running a little marathon on the treadmill. Now that, you're getting closer to 50, you can't do that anymore. Your body is just not the same. And I admit it. The body is slower to do things. And you're more likely to, injure yourself if you do that as well. So you don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? The benefit of youth on your side. So you got to take it easy, chill. But, this isn't so much about weight loss as it is about bringing down my A1C number. That's on the creep. And just feeling better, being more fit. And of course, who doesn't want to look good in the process? Like nobody would eat healthy if they still look plump and fat and out of shape, So that's a side benefit, but you got to think about all of the good for you, the heart benefits and stuff that come with it. So your little brat says nothing wrong with no makeup. You stop wearing it and your skin restores itself to natural beauty. Yeah, I'm honestly I waste money now on makeup. Like I buy it and it just sits there and I never use it. Like a special occasion here and there, I'll do like a little bit of mascara. Mascara is like my thing because I do have really big eyes and I've always had really long lashes. But I think that if you accentuate your lashes even more, like that sometimes is all you need to look half decent. So I'm just not, and the thing is, I actually have really good skin. Pat myself on the back. Maybe it's just genetics, but I have really good skin. Like I don't break out or anything. So I try not to mess with my skin too much. I just keep it clean, moisturized, and that's about it. So Mark says moving too fast, walking through Dadeland Mall. Oh my gosh, I've been doing so much walking the last month. Oh, that's so funny. Dadeland Mall. I don't go to Dadeland Mall. Which one is Dadeland Mall again? I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to Dadeland Mall, actually. That's the one over by oh Lord, which one is Dadeland Mall? That is the one that is on the other side of Miami. I don't hardly ever go to Dadeland Mall. Normally I'm in the Doral area, so I'll go to Dolphin. Is it Dolphin Mall? Yeah. Dolphin Mall. I go to International Mall, which is kind of on the decline as malls go. But still, there's a couple anchor stores in there that are like really good. And then every time I would go into a mall, I had to find my little Chinese masseuse people, the little Asian people that give you a massage. Ooh, honey child, I'd be sitting down like, oh, I need my back worked on. Now in Dadeland Mall, they're not Chinese, they're Spanish. The Spanish people got that one locked down. But they're all very good, actually. You can sit down and get a little 10-minute, 15-minute massage. Some people be there for like all an hour. I'm like, really? An hour massage in the mall? Come on now. Let's keep it moving. But yeah, they're pretty good. But I couldn't, that's Kendall area. I don't really ever go on that side of Miami. I don't know what it is. Like hardly ever. I've not been to Dadeland Mall in years. No clue even what's in that mall. So to me, Dolphin Mall is big enough. Shoot, if you can't find it in Dolphin Mall, it's just like, don't worry about it. Sawgrass. I did Sawgrass on one of my trips in December because I was in Fort Lauderdale. And of course, Sawgrass again is massive. So you kind of decide which of the anchor stores you need to go to. And you might walk out in the mall just a little bit. And I'm one of those people, I need to be really, really careful with the kiosk in the middle of the mall. Because child, they be getting me. My husband's, he says that I am, he always makes this joke about me. He says that I am as seen on TV. So those commercials? And then when you go in the store, it's like, as seen on TV. He's like, I'm that person. He said, they always hoodwink you into buying stuff as seen on TV. So I just steer clear of the kiosk. They're like, here, try this. Let me show you how you can straighten and blow dry your hair all in one go. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I buy it, still sitting here 6 months later, in my cupboard, never plugged in, never used. So that's the problem. It's not so much the buying that's the problem. It's just that I don't even use the stuff that they're trying to pawn. And so, yes, honey child, got to stop that. But hold on. Y'all know I love me a gadget. So let me tell you, I was going to tell you guys about this during the holidays and it kind of slipped me. So 2 things that I'm in love with. One is my handheld massage gun, which I think is in my room right now because I use it all the time. It is fantastic. As a matter of fact, I got a little tightness here in my shoulder that I think I got to use it for later on. The other thing that I had purchased and hadn't even taken out of the box, and then over the holidays, I was like, you know what? I'm going to unpackage this because we gave some of these away. I think we gave at least 1 or 2 of these away in our Christmas giveaways. Is this cupping machine. So you guys see this? So this is a cupping machine. Now, I don't know if I've told you guys about my experience with cupping before, but I have had it done, and it does work for different things, right? The first time I ever had it done, it was for a respiratory infection that I had. So I had laryngitis. I'd lost my voice. And it was so funny because I was doing a talk show at the time, Straight Talk. Had a 4-hour show. And then after that, I lost my voice. And it also, so when I went to see, it was a whole long story. But anyway, that was the first time I went to the acupuncturist. Following week or so, I went back to him. And I said, oh, by the way, I've lost my voice. And he was like, oh. And I said, yeah. And they say I have bronchitis. And I'm taking all the antibiotics and nothing's helping. He's like, don't worry. I got you. And so he did traditional cupping, which in his case, he actually uses glass cups. Now, I know a lot of people who do cupping use plastic, but this guy was old-fashioned. American guy, but he was trained in Asian medicine. And so, traditional Chinese medicine. And so, yeah, he put a glass, he did, I think, 4 or 5 glass cups. What he does is he puts like a menthol thing inside the cup and he lights it with an actual lighter. Yeah. So it's hot, it's fire, sticks it on your back, twists the cup and leaves it there. And so what I found was after he took the cup off, the cups off, within minutes, the mucus that apparently had been sitting in my chest and was incapable of moving itself, and even the modern medication just wasn't moving it. When he did this, that menthol went through my chest, and literally I could feel it. It's the most weird thing in the world, but I could feel it breaking up. And you have to bring it up, right? And then I started to get better. And so from then I'm like, listen, there's something to be said for traditional medicine. You guys know I'm a believer. Vaccines have saved millions of lives. Sometimes you need an aspirin, but there are other things that you can actually do to your body that will help it sort of heal itself. There's sometimes that your body can do what it needs to do in traditional medicine, acupuncture, cupping, there's different pressure points that you can tap into. So a lot of times if I have a headache, I'll find a pressure point that's related to relieving the headache pain. I don't go and grab a tablet first. These things work. So somebody said Dadeland Mall is in Hialeah. No. That's not Hialeah. That's the other side, actually. So I got this cupping machine when I saw it on Amazon, because y'all know I love me some Amazon. And so I've been using it. And I've been using it on some people around here too, honey chill. And they're getting all these big red, it almost looks like a big round hickey. And my skin doesn't react quite as much as some other people around these parts. But it's fantastic. So I turn it on. This one has a heating element. And then it has two modes, and then I can put it up to 7. I've used it on a couple of people and they're like, oh, that's too heavy. But listen, this is what I've been doing. I've actually been putting it on my tennis elbow, which you guys know has also been something that has been bothering me for a minute. And it has actually helped. I just stick it on there and I leave it, and then it'll beep in a little bit and tell me when it's coming off. But yes, you can put it on your, it's almost like you can release certain pressure points and tightness of the muscle and stuff by using something like a cupping machine. So check it out, folks. Y'all might find that, it works. I'm telling you. I don't always understand all the science behind everything like acupuncture and whatever, but it actually works. You know what is interesting? There was something I was reading the other day about the placebo effect. Oh, is Jonathan here? Oh God, Jonathan is not going to want to hear this. You know how people talk about, I think I might have tried to grab the link for him. I need to go have a look. But you know how people talk about medicinal marijuana makes them feel better. And, they have pain management with it, whatever. Well, it turns out that you all know about the placebo effect, right? The mind is a powerful thing. Yes. Who sent this to me? Oh, yeah. So this was ABC News. And they were talking about how apparently a lot of the impacts that people have when it comes to marijuana and pain management, it's actually all in your head. I mean, don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling y'all, this is what they've said. It's kind of like the vaccine. There was evidence that many of the side effects that people were having, and this was a study that was done on COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of the side effects were actually brought on by what people, their preconceived notions about the vaccine. So even though people got it, they were kind of all worked up like, oh my God, it's going to do this to me and it's going to do that to me. And so they felt side effects because the brain told them you're going to feel a side effect, not because it actually was a real side effect, which is interesting. So you guys know I've had 4 shots yet and I've yet to experience any side effects. Nothing. In fact, the last one that I did, I decided to get both my flu shot, because apparently this is a really, really bad flu season. And the flu kills people every year as well. And so I decided to get my flu shot because they're like, ooh, Sandy, the flu worse than COVID right now. So I got my COVID booster and the flu shot. That was the Moderna bivalent one. Right before the holidays, they were in cost you less. Got one in each arm. They said that I think the COVID shot went in the left arm, your non-dominant arm, and then they did the flu shot in the right arm. Because they actually said to me, and sometimes I think medical professionals shouldn't say certain things to you because they put ideas in your head, but if you're that type of impressionable person. And they said to me, oh, that people say that they feel, which one did they tell me they feel more? I think the nurse said that people are saying that they feel the COVID one more, the actual shot at the injection site, than the flu. And so that's why they were still putting that one in the non-dominant arm. But I also said to her, I noticed that you guys no longer require people to stay put and to sit down. She said, no, they were only doing that initially because, the vaccine was so new that they just wanted people to take a minute and, to see if they were going to have any allergies to it and whatever. So now that most people have been vaccinated at least once or, have gotten a course of vaccine, they know whether or not there's anything in it that they're allergic to. So she's like, no, you're good to go. Once you get it, you can go run a marathon, I guess, if you wanted to. So anyway, I got it. I got both shots done. And I took a note of what she said, but I found the opposite to actually be true for me. The one that hurt more was the flu shot and not the COVID shot at the injection site. So, any injection you get, you're going to feel it for a day or so. That's the only thing I've ever felt with the COVID vaccine. I've not had any changes. I've not felt anything. There is some evidence that has come forward that women, I can't remember if it was specific to the Pfizer, but that it actually did have a slight indication on your menstrual cycle, like it changed it slightly. But what most women don't even know is about every 10 years, your cycle changes naturally anyway. And there's a lot of things that can impact your cycle, from stress to women know you're stressed out and all of a sudden you're late by a couple of days. You're like, oh my God, I think I'm pregnant. That's because you were stressed out about something else. Or you're stressed out and it comes early. This is just how it works. But every 10 years, your cycle changes anyway. So the more you know, folks. Nathina says, true, pressure points help me through natural delivery. Soka's like me. I know the feeling. She says, please don't talk about mucus. Are you finished? I turned down the volume. I wasn't going to say anything else because I'm one of those people too. Even people who tickle their throats, I cannot take it. Ugh. The other day, I was around a kid who was doing that. I said, hey, please stop. You have no idea how much that bothers me. I feel you. Prophetess Dr. Juliet Fagan, Happy New Year. Haven't seen you in a while. She says, yes, it works. I did cupping on many persons at my practice here in Jamaica. Are you in Jamaica full time now, honey? Or are you still back and forth? She says, I use glass cupping and suction. It causes blood flow to the area, detoxification, colon cleansing. Miss Ethel, yes, Daylin is the one that's in Kendall. And what's the other one called that's on the other side? There's Daylin and what's the other one called? Daylin. And then there's one on the other side. I've never been fond of Hialeah. That area to me is like the dumps. Like, honestly, I don't ever go into the Hialeah area. Westland, thank you, Amelia. I don't go to Hialeah if I can help it. Now, I know Caymanians, back in the day, that was your spot. So I remember when I first moved back to Cayman, and I used to go to Miami because I grew up in Tampa, and I've never really liked Miami. I got to be honest with you. It's a very different vibe than Tampa. But when I used to go, when I first went, and I take my little GPS, because the first couple of times I went, I got lost. And I ended up in some really sketchy areas of Miami, and it occurred to me, I better get a GPS. This is way back in the when did I come back? Like 96. So this was like the late 90s. So I was like, oh, honey child, I can't be getting lost in Miami, get kidnapped and killed up in these parts. So I went to Hialeah a couple of times, and I'm thinking, what is it about Hialeah that Caymanians like? Ugh, couldn't stand Hialeah. And, I've been there a couple of times. I've not been there probably well over 10 years. So I don't even know what's on that side anymore. I don't know if it's improved, if it's gotten any better, if it's gotten any worse. I have no clue. But I remember that we actually had some people we knew that got robbed at a hotel in Hialeah. So, criminals watch you, folks. And what they were doing in Miami, I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the early 90s, there was a huge problem. They even changed the license plates in Florida on tourist vehicles so that you could not identify it as a rental, because largely in the Miami area, there were gangs that were targeting tourists, Asian tourists and foreign European tourists, and then robbing them. And I want to say that if memory serves me correctly, that someone even got killed because of these high-profile robberies that were happening in the Miami area. So they changed it where you could no longer tell based on a license plate that is a rental. And it's a lot harder then to really, So I knew some people who were in a hotel in Hialeah, and the police told them that these people were most likely watching them. They knew that they were foreigners. They came into the hotel room. They knocked on the door. Typical Caymanian fashion. They just opened the door. I'm like, I ain't opened the door to nobody. I didn't order anything. Even if you say delivery, if I didn't order it, I'm not opening the door. I don't know who you be, who you is. I don't know who your mama is. And I'm definitely not opening this door. Anyway, they opened the door, and they only had one guy with them who was the husband of one of the individuals at the time. They later got a divorce. And I have to admit, I was kind of thinking to myself, I wonder if this played into the divorce, because the robbers couldn't see him where he was in the room. But the story goes, he actually came out with his hands up. Don't forget about me. I'm here. Don't forget me. And I was like, what, dude? Don't forget about you? No, sir. Every time I think about that story that was told to me, I must tell you that I had to chuckle, because I was like, oh my God. So anyway, they ended up getting robbed, and oh, there goes my suction cup. That was it falling on the floor, honey child. I think it'll be okay. Hold on, let me grab it real quick. But yeah, they ended up getting robbed, and unfortunately for them, they took everything: passports, money, the works, right? Ugh. So I've never really thought that Hialeah was like the safest place in the world in any event. That was one of the stories that I'm aware of, and I was just like, no, thanks. I'll stay on the other side. No, sir. KK looked like she got love for Hialeah. She's like, oh, memories. Oh my God, Miss Brenda says, I was robbed in Westland Mall my first time. That was my last time. Really? You see what I'm telling you right there? Mm-hmm. Miss Soka says, hi, Leah's all Cubans. Soka. All of Miami is pretty much all Cubans. I guess you might have, I don't know where the Haitians hang out in Cuba. They might have little Haiti. But really and truly, there's no place in Miami that you would go that you do not feel a Cuban presence. They're all over the place. Soka remembers this. She said, yes, a German woman, a German tourist, was killed in front of her 2 children and her mother. Just horrible. I couldn't get it out of my mind. That was not Hialeah, though. Overtown, maybe. Where is this? Where? Alapata or Miami Gardens? Yeah, it was really sad because they were actually following people all over the place. So somebody's calling me. Good morning. Are you trying to get on air today? Remember the number is 936, Bobo. Hi, are you trying to get on air?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm live? No, right?
Yeah, you are. But are you actually trying to be live?
No, I wanted to bring into your attention that a Caymanian kid is suffering from her mother behavior, but I don't want to say it in public.
Oh, okay. No, we're live from 7:30 in the mornings.
All right, sorry.
All right, no problem. Yes, honey child, Caymanian child suffering. Ugh, I hate to say it, but what is new? Hot mess. All right, so listen. Ethel says Aventura Mall is also not. Yes, Aventura is a decent area. There was a time when I almost exclusively went to Aventura because I had a mailbox over on that side. And then it wasn't always as easy to get to it. So I actually, switched it up where I'm on the other side. But yeah, Aventura area is nice. I like it. KK says, Hialeah came in like little Cayman. That's where you would see every Caymanian in a store. And child, I didn't go to Miami to see Caymanians. I mean, I know it happens, especially on holiday weekends and stuff like that. But I do not. Yeah, I don't go to Miami. I mean, I don't go to Miami. I don't. Sorry. Right. I don't go to Hialeah, and I don't go to Miami to try to see Caymanians. That's why Fort Lauderdale is becoming more my vibe now. I go out a little bit more because honestly, I don't want to see y'all when I go to Miami. And the first place Caymanians go, what is the first place that Caymanians go? Walmart. And where's the first place that I go? Walmart. So Broward Mall, I think I went there a couple times recently as well. My daughter, for some reason, had something in her head about Target. And so she made her first trip to the US in April. And she's like, oh, I want to go to Target. But we didn't get a chance to go. We were there for a week and didn't get to Target. I don't even know how that happened. But anyway, this trip, the mommy-daughter trip, I said, we're going to go to Target. And she's like, oh, yes. I don't know what in her head was. I don't know what's a Target that she wanted to see. But anyway, Target's a different vibe. So I'm like, all right, not a problem. So we end up going to Target, and I told her I let her in on the secret about Target. So I said, honey child, she laughs when I say that. I said, back in the day, when Target first opened, and I remember when Target came around because I believe Target, when did they start? I feel like they started maybe before that, but I really feel like when I was in university is when Target was coming into its own. And so I told her when we were at university, we would call it Target. And she thought that was so funny. She's like, why? Why would you call it Target? And I said, well, the whole joke of it was that, it's a little bit of a step up from a Walmart. And so we felt very bougie going to Target. And so, we had to be appropriate with the name. It's not Target, it's Target, because Target just sounds very, high class or whatever. So she thinks it's the funniest thing. So now she's like all into it. She's like, when we go back to Miami again, are we going to be able to go to Target? And I said, oh, yes, we are, honey chill. So let's see here. Yes, Walmart. Caymanians love them in Walmart. Evelyn says the first place I go to is Red Lobster. Girl, I feel you. I did that recently as well. I was starving when I got off the plane. It was like an afternoon flight. And child, I was like, where do I want to go? And I ended up at Red Lobster. Had the soup. The dishes are so over the top. Like I had appetizers. So I did like a soup and a mushroom dish. I couldn't eat, like everything just seemed so big. I was like, geez, some peace. You can't eat all this food. Jim says, give me Target over Walmart any day, every day. And we love a Ross too. You can find some deals at Ross, TJ Maxx. What's the other one called? Marshalls. All those, kind of discount stores. Brenda says that she will take Boca Raton, Town and Country Mall. Have I been to Town and Country Mall? Thank God, no Cubans. Child, they just pretending that they're not Cubans. They're Cuban Americans, just that maybe they speak English in Boca. Mall of America and Florida Mall. Wait a minute, Tamara. Mall of America are they even still around? They have pretty much, I think, gone downhill. Maybe there's one store left at Mall of America. I think there was like an Anchor Marshalls, but they took over half of that parking lot at Mall of America to build what did they put in there? I think it's a Costco or something. Does anybody remember? This is a trivia question for you. Do you guys remember Tiger Direct? I don't even know if they're still in existence or not, but they used to have like their headquarters there by Mall of America. They're like a computer store, but they had a huge online presence as well. Are they still around? I've not heard about them in a minute. Shall we go down memory lane here? Talking about shopping, Olive Garden, Red Lobster. I'm not a big Olive Garden person. Like I can probably count the times I've ever been to Olive Garden. Josephina loves her Golden Corral. Again, I probably have maybe been there once or twice in my entire life. Yeah, Soka says that's what most people call it, Target. It's a gay thing, actually, owned by gays. Target is owned by gay people. I've never heard this before, but doesn't matter. Let me see what my Wikipedia says about Target. So it is the 7th largest retailer in the United States. Really? I didn't even know that they were that large. That's interesting. Huh. All right. Established as the discount division of Dayton's department store. Dayton's. That's before my time, honey child, because I don't know who the heck Dayton is. Department store of Minneapolis in 1962. Wow. It began expanding the store nationwide in the 1980s as part of the Dayton Hudson Corporation and introduced new store formats under the Target brand in the 1990s. You see, I remember that. But you see, I always thought they were brand new. But look at that. They had a little bit of history. The company has found success as a cheap, chic player in the industry, and the parent company was renamed Target Corporation in 2000 and divested itself of its last department store chain in 2004. I don't think it has anything to do with gay people, Soka. I don't see nothing here about Dayton's department store being owned by gay people. But for the record, gay people are everywhere and they own all sorts of stuff. So I guess at the end of the day, it wouldn't be surprising, but I don't think that that's really what they're known for. Ugh. Oh yeah. Well, I'm getting a workout here today, y'all. You're going to have to just bear with me as I use my cupping device. And you see, can y'all see on my elbow how it puts a little bit of a dent? I don't know if y'all can see that little mark there, but my marks are not, that'll go away here shortly. Do you see it? Yeah, that's where the suction is. And I always put it on 7, which is the highest. Most people can't handle 7. They're like, oh, Sandy, that hurts. I'm like, y'all are such a bunch of softies. But anyway, my sister works for Target Corporation. Oh, that's pretty cool, says Jim. BJ's is going strong. I feel like all of the BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club, I feel like they do really well in retail, although retail is actually on the decline. BJ's is still around, aren't they? What do you mean? Do you remember them? Aren't they still around? I thought so. But I've always been a Sam's Club member from when I was in university in Florida. I got my first Sam's Club membership card. So that's like over 20 years ago. So I've always been a Sam's Club member. And for the most part, I love Sam's Club. They got everything. And you know what is so crazy is they have this app now. It's called the Sam's Club app. Go figure. But within the app, they have an option where you can shop, scan, and go. So as I'm shopping, I scan the items and I check myself out. Now I'm so tickled pink that in the United States of America, all these self-checkout lines, you now pay yourself. Well, you're not really paying yourself. You're paying the store, Walmart, Target, whoever, to check yourself out. So they don't have to check you out. You're paying for the privilege of checking yourself out. It is a little bit weird, but I like it because normally it is a quicker process. However, when I went to Walmart the other day, the line, I was like, no. You see, I used to work in Walmart when I was in university. I was a CSM, customer service manager. And I was like, we would be in the intercom. All cashiers to the front desk. All cashiers to registers now, please. All cashiers, please report to the register. Like, you got to call these people, make sure you got enough shift coverage. I'm like, this store looks a little bit short-staffed, to be honest. So the self-checkout line was all the way down the aisle, past the regular lines, and then it like looped around. I was like, I'm not joining that line. And then, you know, the trick is you try to go to like somewhere else that can check you out. Like you go to electronics, the jewelry department, nobody was there. You go to the pharmacist. If you don't have a lot of stuff, sometimes they don't mind, like, okay, I'll, check out your 5 little items. But hello, if you're coming from Cayman, you know your Walmart cart going to be filled with all sorts of toiletries because you got to stock up on your deodorants and your this and your that and blah, 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 and other stuff that you probably don't even need. I don't really buy clothing per se at Walmart. Exercise clothing being the exception because they have some good stuff. But for the most part, it's all the toiletry stuff and, So, that line was super long. But the Sam's Club, and, they're owned by the same parent company. The Sam's Club app is amazing because I pick up my stuff, scan everything that I pick up. And I literally, before I walk out the door, just pay for it. My information is stored on the app. And then when I get to the checkout point, the security point at the front, they randomly scan a couple items just to make sure that they're in my cart. They don't scan everything, but they'll scan like maybe 5 items out of like the 20 that I have, scan the receipt, spot check, you're good to go. It is amazing. I'm like, what, can we all get this at every single store? I want self-checkout like this through the app, not still standing up at a line trying to, put it in the cart and it helps that with Sam's Club, you don't get bags. At Walmart, you obviously, have to bag your stuff as well. Mark says it's cheaper when you check yourself out. It's no cheaper. How's it cheaper? You're paying the same price for the goods. It's just that those stores can probably hire less people. And I've noticed that the little area for self-checkout keeps expanding and growing, even in Target as well. Miss Dorothy is in Florida watching us. Hey, girl, how are you? Yes, sir. Make yourself a good mall trip. So I'm actually traveling next week. I'm going to tell you guys about it when I come back. When I come back, I'll tell you where I went and what I did. But I am traveling, and it is somewhere in America. It's not Florida, though. So I'll tell you all about it when I come back. Good morning, Miss Lisette. All right, let's get on to some serious chat this morning. Sometimes I really enjoy the small talk with you guys. I learn a lot. You guys learn a lot. Maybe. So, oh my gosh, there's a debate about something here. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is yet because I am still on a mission to fact find. But when someone says something to you that's not even relevant to the topic at hand. Let me put it this way. Let me give you an example. So say you're talking about say I'm a civil servant, you're talking about my performance on the job or whatever, and you tell me a particular story. And then you say, oh yeah, and Sandy has a child for a certain politician. And that happens to not be factually correct. I'm the type of person that everything you say is kind of suspect, honey child. Now, it doesn't mean that you haven't gotten other stuff right. But to me, who people have children for is normally, although sometimes they themselves don't know. But normally it's something that would have been widely heard in this community. And if I'm only hearing one person with it, I go, hold on. That person not got no baby for that politician. I mean, I would have heard it, even if it was just a rumor. So I'm fact checking something at the moment. And I think this person has just gotten this wrong. But anyway, I'm still looking into it. That's not the part of the story that's neither here nor there. But it is connected to the story because the allegation is a particular person has been protected despite incompetence because of who they're connected to. But I don't think that that's who they have a child for. So this person says, morning, Sandy. Very interesting about that cupping. Wondering if that could have helped with COVID patients and their coughs. I like Target over Walmart. Well, COVID is a viral situation. So it doesn't really help with a virus per se. If you have something symptomatic, I guess, like a cough, maybe. But, the interesting thing about COVID, I mean, we're learning so much. We're actually going to try to get a COVID update soon from one of the experts from USF that was on the program. Remember when Kevin was doing the COVID Spotlight series? They were so good and so informational. But COVID is the only virus that they have, discovered that actually infiltrates every single major organ in your body. There's something different about this COVID virus. And even people who have mild cases of it, so they're not ending up in the hospital, they're not ending up on death's door, they have really become long haul COVID, like all these symptoms that normally if you have a mild infection of anything, it doesn't tend to wreak that kind of havoc on your system. But COVID is different, honey child. It's really different. So this person says, Dadeland is my mall off US 1. Since Aventura Mall gone pricey, Dadeland is what Aventura used to be. There's another mall that's close to Dadeland, though, off of US 1 as well. Like it's literally, I can see it in my mind's eye. It's maybe just a couple miles from Dadeland. What is that mall called? And you know what else is close by there? I don't know if they still exist. Remember Hop's Restaurant? They used to, oh my God. You know what I love about Hop's Restaurant? I don't drink. So I'm not into the hops part of it because that's where they brew their own beers and whatever. Right in the middle of the restaurant is a big brewing device, right? And they call it the hops, which is like the wheat that they use to make the beer. But they have this appetizer that is a croissant that has like little drizzling of, and they make these in-house. So they're always nice and warm. And oh my God, I forget what they call them. But anyway, do Hops restaurants still exist even? Is that Town and Country? I'm thinking it's called something else, but I could be wrong. Somebody's saying that's Town and Country off Kendall. It's still in the same US 1. I thought it was called something else. All right. It could be. This person says, good morning. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with seeing you either. Hearing you is good enough for me. Yes, sir. That's my dear chill. All right, let me see. It's the Falls. Yes, the Falls is what I'm thinking of. Thank you. That's not far from Dadeland, right? My mind is telling me it's like maybe a 10, 15-minute drive. Very, very close. Nope, I'm not going to Atlanta, but I'll tell you all about it when I come back. Do you have any information on the latest information put out by the government regarding Omicron. Not Omicron. There's some other one that was starting to trend, but there was a bit of misinformation that was being sent out in WhatsApp messages. So the government did public health issued a statement about that to just say to people that this advisory that is being sent out is not from us, which y'all should know by now. This XBB variant that was not issued by the Ministry of Health. Listen to me. As much as people tried to hoodwink us during COVID, y'all should be able to spot a scam a mile away. Anytime you get a WhatsApp message, WhatsApp, Facebook is going to start charging you this, that. I'm like, people, by now, do we all not know that this is all fake? It's a lie. It's not true. Yeah. Remember, oh gosh, what's it called now? Well, this message goes out and it claims that the Ministry of Health, it doesn't even specify which Ministry of Health. I'm like, listen, that alone is your sign that this is there's not no Ministry of Health that you should be listening to. Somebody sat down and just decided to put this email together and send out one pile of baloney, trying to scare people. The XBB variant is going to kill all of us. I'm like, Lord Jesus. So the government, the chief medical officer, Dr. Nick Gent, did release a statement saying that this variant was identified and studied by a group of experts from the World Health Organization back in October, and that there's no evidence that it's any more deadly or causes any more severe illness. The WhatsApp message apparently said something different. And so, just reminding you that the misinformation is still very much out there, and just be careful where you're getting your information from. Makes sense to me. Okay. Over the holidays, big shout out to Nick Cannon. Had baby number 12. I think the baby's born already. And at the same time, he was complaining that he hardly has any time to visit his children because he's trying to get to all 12 kids, most of them are for different baby mamas. And he's trying to get to all of them during the holidays. Oh, Nick. And then he admits that it's really hard trying to find time for 12 kids that don't live under one roof. I'm like, really, dude? Ugh. Some guy, I can't remember what his name is now, some really foolish guy. He's some hip hop artist or something, said that it doesn't matter if you're not able to make it to all of your kids' soccer games. They're probably not even going to soccer games, child, but that doesn't matter as long as you're providing financially. Oh, is it 6 baby mamas, Jim? Yeah, I think a couple of them doubled up with him. What a bunch of fools. And there's a set of twins. So this guy, he gave Nick Cannon some advice. He's like, oh, don't worry about it if you can't get to everything for them. As long as you provide for them financially, that's all they need. My mind just went, really? This is what is wrong with America. It's kind of what's wrong with Cayman. It's what's wrong with Jamaica. It's what's wrong with the world over, because we now live in a society where people don't think you need it's just a sperm donor and a bank account or debit card to buy the baby diapers, and that's all you need. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? I'm not saying you have to go to every single game. To be a good dad. What I'm saying is you should be doing your best to try to go to every single game. Yeah, that's what actually makes you a good father, not just providing a paycheck. I can't remember which guy, unfortunately, African-American, wannabe deadbeat dad, giving advice to Nick Cannon that, oh, don't stress yourself out. Don't worry about it. If you can't make it, it's okay as long as you're paying the bills for them. I thought, oh my God, something's wrong with you all. I mean, it is just unbelievable. it's your presence that is most important to your children. Even, people who grow up in less than ideal financial situations, a lot of kids are not impacted by that as much as you think. They're impacted by the fact that they have an absentee father who isn't there. And sometimes that father is an absentee dad because he's out there hustling, trying to pay for 12 children by 6 baby mamas. So yeah, he's talking about, because he's constantly working and he's spread thin, he doesn't get to spend as much time with his 11, baby number 12 on the way children. He's only 42 years old, folks. He's still fairly young. Oh my gosh. That he struggles with his work life and time with his kids' balance. Really? Dude, if you really cared about that, Jim says he needs a vasectomy. Honestly, at this point, I agree 1,000%. If you really cared, you'd get fixed. You would have been wearing a condom all this time, but since obviously that's not something that you're aware of how that works, right? And these stupid baby mamas seem to not know anything about birth control either. So sadly, I don't even know how Nick keeps up with all these children in their names. I would have forgotten a couple already. I gotta be honest with you. So now he's admitting that it's a lot. And don't forget that Nick Cannon actually has lupus. A lot of us forget this. He's struggling with, and I mean, he might have flare-ups here and there. So he's actually struggling with, an incurable disease that one day could be the end of him. It made me think about it. I was having a conversation, I can't remember with who, over the holidays. And I thought to myself, maybe the reason why he is having so many children is because there's something actually wrong in his head. Feel me out on this before we start talking about the immigration topic, right? He's trying to compensate because he knows that chances are, he's only 42 years old, his life will probably be cut short because of this disease. Lupus can be very, very unforgiving, yeah? So he wants to feel like a person and feels like when he leaves this world, he is going to, and by the way, I think the 12th child has arrived already. But, he feels like he's going to be leaving a part of him behind. Does that make any sense? Except in his case, it's going to be a lot of parts of him. Someone even said that they thought that maybe he was harvesting these kids, which I don't think he's doing, in order to have like donor options if he needs like a kidney and all this other stuff. And I thought, no. I mean, I think he's crazy for having all these kids, but I don't believe that that's the reason why. I think it's something else. So I can't remember which one of these fools made that comment about, oh, you don't need to be there for every football or every, baseball game, yada, yada, yada. And it was disappointing for me to actually see that it's an African-American because, listen, statistically, they're less likely to be in the lives of their children than anybody else. Such a sad situation, really. But anyway, if I remember the name, I'll let y'all know. Not that it matters because I'm like, who the heck is he? All right, Dean Sinclair, good morning, says moral support from parents should be priority, likewise financial. I mean, listen, in this day and age, you need money to have children. Let me be very, very frank and honest. I'm not saying that you should have children if you're broke. And in fact, I've told you on this program, don't have any children if you don't have a good job and you're not settled financially. That's my personal advice. Nobody wants to be struggling to put food on the table when you have a child. That's not something to strive for. That shouldn't make any of us happy. And it shouldn't make you happy. I had a couple people this last week messaging me, oh, Sandy, I'm hungry. Do you have any gift cards? I'm like, honey, child, what we need is not a gift card to Foster's. We need to figure out how to get you a job and keep you employed. And the harder things get financially for everyone, the harder it's going to be for people to continue to help. Their resources are limited. So even if the heart is willing, The pocketbook might not be. So, times are tough for everyone. I was reading again this morning about the price of eggs. How many times they have gone up? How many times the price of eggs is like quadruple what we used to pay? And eggs are a very simple commodity. Egg prices have more than tripled in some states over the last year. We're feeling it here. Yeah, we did a whole article on this. What's driving the price of eggs? And eggs have always been a cheap source of protein. You can survive off of eggs, although it's, from a health perspective, it's not really recommended that you eat too many of them. They're still not as healthy for you as you think. But you can make you can do so many things with eggs: scrambled eggs, fried eggs, egg sandwiches, sauteed eggs. You can use it as a filler in rice. Get you a good fried rice with eggs. I mean, you can do a lot with an egg. Poached egg on a piece of bread, stick some avocado on it, and all of a sudden you got yourself some avocado toast, honey Jill. So, a lot of people rely on eggs. But listen, in California, eggs are now $7.37 for a dozen. And just a year ago, they were $2.35. So it's going up. And if you're getting organic eggs, it's going to be even more. I've seen some egg prices all $10, $11. So everything is going up in price. And, if you're a person in need, your hustle factor just got that much bigger. And this is why you need to do something about your baby situation and your reproductive organs. One young lady was saying to me how she was mentoring some young women. They both had a child each. And she said, listen, you're young parents, single parents, baby daddy's missing as usual. Only God knows where they be, getting somebody else pregnant. Do yourselves a favor. Do not have any more kids until you can get settled. You have a full-time job, maybe even a husband. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but there's nothing wrong with getting a husband, y'all. Somebody else to help you financially. There's a whole, I was actually reading an article just the other day that even living with someone and shacking up with someone in America does not have the same financial impact on you than getting married. There's something to be said for getting married. Might sound old-fashioned to some of y'all, but believe me, that piece of paper is more than just a piece of paper. It impacts your finances in a real way. It impacts the quality of your life, right? You've got someone who hopefully is present in the lives of his or her children. They're every single day, you tag teaming it, raising that little child or two. Try not to go too much over two. So it's just, I don't get why I get it. And I know historically what has happened, but I think we need to go back to some basics when it comes to family values. Call me old-fashioned. That's okay. But having these children all over the place with all these different baby daddies and baby mamas just doesn't make any sense for the quality of life, not just for you, but more importantly for your children. Your children will ultimately be the ones who get the short end of the stick. I cannot say that more than enough. And as I've said on more than one occasion, I know because I actually come from that very same situation that I'm telling you about. And that's why for me, it was so important for me not to fall into that trap, because I saw the implications of broken families and when your parents are not married and, who's making decisions about what in your life. And it's just total chaos. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. Miss Jim says he's selfish. I think he is. Dorothy says Nick is mentally disabled, including those baby mamas. Child, and he can find some really pretty women to impregnate. I don't know. I guess just because he's a celebrity. But most of these women are really nice looking women. I'm thinking they must, as you say, something not quite right in their heads either. Because I can't conceive how a Nick Cannon could be attractive to a real woman. What is it about him? Maybe I shouldn't really ask this question, but what is it about him that makes him attractive? My God, seriously? Ugh. From what I hear, you got a couple kids already. I'm like, no thanks. I have always said, and this has been, people who know me know this about me. I have always said that given my personality, I'm not interested in any ready-made families. That life was just never for me. And again, it has a lot to do with how I grew up in the situation that I grew up in. I never wanted to find a man that already had children. And I know that sounds horrible and it's kind of judgy, but I'm being completely honest here. I found them to be the least attractive men. Now, when you start to get a little bit older in your 30s, it's like, all these jokers out in the streets, honey child, got children. And so it was becoming more and more difficult in the dating game to find someone without kids. They were either gay, that's why they had no kids, or they were impotent. And I wasn't looking for that either. But it was kind of getting tough, especially Caribbean men. A Caribbean man that does not have a child by the time he is 25, definitely 30, definitely 35. Something must be wrong with him almost, is what you're thinking, right? So the challenge was real as I got older and was looking at, marriage number 2. I was like, oh God, am I ever going to be able to have kids? And then you think to yourself, can I compromise on this? Can I compromise on the, maybe if he has one kid? But I was like, one kid, I'm going to need one. I don't know how well this is going to mesh, honey chill, because I don't want the baby mama drama, first of all. And there's too many people out there with crazy people that they have children with, and I can't really deal with that. And I'm not saying that I couldn't love your child as though it was my own, but when the baby mama start acting up, somebody can get slapped, and it's not going to be the child because, I don't believe in hitting children. So it's either going to be you or your baby mama with all the drama. So I was looking to simplify my life, and it seems like I might have found the last of the Mohican, a Jamaican man, especially that had no kids. I was like, Lord Jesus, this is too good to be true. Child, I had to verify and cross-check. I was like, are you sure you don't have any kids? Let me do a background check here and make sure this is correct. Let's talk about background checks. Sherry says, laughing out loud. I agree. Yuck. Let's talk about background checks. Ms. Dean says that, me too, Sandy. That's why I'm happy with my one son. Jim says, pretty does not equal brains. Irvlyn says maybe he's well endowed. She didn't quite say it like that, but I'll say it like that for her. Child, listen, even that can only do so much. Miss Elaine says the pickings are very slim. Jonathan says a woman will share a man with money as long as they are left out. Left out? I mean, as long as they're not left out? I don't care if he has money or not. No, honey child. That is not my cup of tea. Brenda says a Jamaican with brought up. See, yes, honey child. I was like, what? You don't have any kids? You don't have a baby mama hiding out in the hills of Jamaica? Are you sure? I'm like, let me check your phone messages just to make sure. So listen, let's talk about the Jamaican murderess who came on our shore. So yesterday we confirmed that she entered this country legally on a work permit. Now this got me to thinking, and I had a lot of questions about this. Honey, I had so many questions. I was like, wait a minute now. Hold on a second. The Jamaican authorities didn't know her real name. Why are we relying on them for any sort of information? How did she get a clean police record? These are all the questions that are going through my head. Now listen to me. I want y'all to listen carefully because this is something we need to be concerned about. The topic this morning is about immigration violators and what we need to do. How we need to tighten up the laws around here and the procedures. Her sister, here it is story now, right? taken straight from the Mall Road. So you take it as you find it. But this is how the story goes. Her sister works in Cayman. Yes, I gotta show y'all a picture of the sister, honey child. We can't seem to get a picture of her because she seems to be hiding out. But we have a picture of the sister. I'm gonna show y'all what the sister looks like, because there's some questions that have got to be asked about the part that this sister played in this whole situation. Because if you think that you're going to murder someone in Jamaica and be involved in a murder and your sister here in Cayman don't know about it, something suspect. Here's the sister. The sister is the one who got her sister here. So she went, Ashley is the sister's name, trying to be cute. She went to somebody else and said, oh, can you take out a permit for my sister? Well, as it turns out, y'all, she would have known the sister was running from trouble. Now, here's my opinion, and you don't have to like it, but I now believe that immigration here in Cayman needs to deport the sister too. Because you cannot tell me that this sister did not know that your sister just killed somebody in Kingston and is running, and you are going to help her to get to this country. And if that's the type of person you are, your behind should be on the next flight out of the Cayman Islands. Simple, simple, and simple. Yeah. Yeah, Summer's shocked. Summer and Keisha are like, what? Yes. She went to somebody and said, oh, help me get my sister here. Can you take out a work permit for her? And here's the sad part about it. This is happening so much in Cayman. People are taking out work permits for people. It is a regular scamation of a situation. The government of the day, Pat government, are y'all paying attention? You all need to clamp down and listen to me. You need to get your act together. You need to direct the civil service arm to start checking these permits and scrutinizing them a bit more. There are too many people, I should say, taking advantage of the immigration system to line their own pockets. And I'm going to give you a reason why I think, and I've heard other people say the same thing, is contributing to it. Greed. There's a lot of newer Caymanians who are paper Caymanians. They have no true love for this country. They are just here for the money. Plus, they come from jurisdictions where everything can be bought for a price. They don't believe in following laws and rules in any event. So when you approach them to take out a permit and they don't even have any work for you, they don't see anything wrong with that. Oh yeah, you give me a little kickback. You go out there and find work on your own. And every month you give me a kickback on your whatever pay you're getting. Immigration, WRC, whatever you're calling yourself these days, we have got to start cracking down on this. And there's certain industries that are worse than others. But you need to start doing spot checks. Even the sister, Meher say, she got a permit being held by one company and one person and don't even work there. Put her on the next flight out of Cayman, please. Somebody get on it. Yeah? You're going to allow a murderer to come into this jurisdiction? You have just lost the privilege to remain in our country. We are bringing in the lowest of the low from a lot of different places around the world, and we need to stop it, quite frankly. This is not the caliber of individual that we want. But, these fool Caymanians. And forgive me, by the way, When I use colloquial terms like fool and donkey, don't really take it to heart because number one, it's true. Somebody said yesterday, oh, they're upset because I made a reference to some civil servants, the one who not doing their jobs, that they're donkeys. And I said, well, are you going to argue with me? Oh, they don't like that term. You'll get over it. Yeah. I can call Caymanians fool because I see it every single day. We're marrying people for convenience. We're giving our country away. We're not even selling it. We're just giving it away. Gosh darn it. At least the darts of the world are investing and leaving something and building something. Y'all have gotten so low now that you're giving it to people who offer you nothing of value and give you nothing. And they're tearing your country down, letting murderers in, letting child molesters in, rapists, everybody. And I'm supposed to be happy with that? Hell no. This whole dance hall scene. Oh, they're all calling themselves dollars and this and that. She's part of that. Look, yeah. Mm-hmm. Whatever little minimum wage money they have, they're not even using it sensibly to build their future in Jamaica. They're buying hair. They're too busy buying hair by the pound, getting the BBLs done, the bonker lifts, the tummy tucks, the boobs put in, fake nails. They can afford to go hair salon every single day. Not even to me can live up in the hair salon. This is a lifestyle. This is what they're aspiring to. You can aspire to this sort of lifestyle in your own country, but here in Cayman, the problem is you're importing a particular style of living that we should all be very, very cautious of. Yeah? Y'all don't want to believe me about what these dance hall people are into? Now, I'm not trying to paint them by one brush, but I will refer to their own Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, who has admitted that there's a particular segment of the population that the criminality comes with this segment of the population more than anything else. It's not just about the music. It is not just about how they look. In order to maintain that, there's a mentality that is pervasive in that segment of the population. And we have to understand as Caymanians what that means. Now, am I saying that we only want to import people of a particular financial means? Maybe I am saying that a little bit. Not everybody can be rich, and you don't want an over influx of them either. But if the majority of people that we're bringing in come from the bottom of the barrel, they're not working class people. So when they come here, it's not about a working class mentality. It's not about trying to better themselves. It's about, oh, I'm here to floss and look good and live this highfalutin lifestyle that I cannot afford. So if that means that I'm going to steal from you, I'm going to rob Tortuga, I'm going to, rob whatever from my employers, I'm going to steal from people. That's exactly what is being done. This dollar lifestyle. I'm going to find some old Canadian dentist, a hoodwink him out of his money. $75,000, $80,000. Y'all need to look at what is happening in this country. This person says also the person, food company, FOC company that takes out the permit needs to be held accountable. Yes, I'm getting to that. Hold on. We're getting there, honey child. Because in order to fix this problem, we need to do more. So Leanna says, PAC doesn't care. We report and they're ignored. Well, let me be very clear. This actually has nothing to do with the PAC government. This is WORC, which, as I said yesterday, those are the civil servants. They have an enforcement arm. Now, I've spoken to some of them. They say, oh, Sandy, we're understaffed. We don't have enough people. Our department hasn't grown. And yet, look at the number of scammers that are out here. We need more help. We need resources. We need this. I also hear from people like Leanna all the time. Stuff is being reported with evidence provided, and nothing seems to happen. There has got to be some accountability and some explanation as to how this happens. You guys remember this guy, what his name is? Blake, what the heck is his name? DJ Blake something or another. He's the one who always be going after little teenage girls. If you have teenagers, try and keep them away from him. Let me get you his name. Hold on. Somebody help me out with his name now. What the heck his name is now? Blake. Blake something. Anyway, it'll soon come to me. So this dude is all over the place. Mario Blake, him. Mario Vibes Time, whatever. He another scammer. Just here marrying Caymanians. His mother has his work permit. He doesn't even work for the mother. So that's another situation, right? She got Caymanian status after suing the Cayman Islands government, and HSM law firm won that on her behalf. They're so desperate to stay in Cayman that they're going to sue us for the ability to be able to stay here. You figure that one out, right? Then she got this deadbeat son who doesn't work. He's been freelancing as Mario Vibes Time for years without the proper permit to do so. Y'all need to tell me, how is he still in this country? How is this possible? I can use him as an example because I have dug into his case and I have firsthand knowledge. He was marrying Caymanian girls to be able to stay in this country, and half of them didn't even realize that they're being used. Some of them were okay with it. He's always into some mix-up. Remember, he was involved in the fatal crash on West Bay Road, taking pictures about, the cyclist ran into him and the cyclist is stupid and blah, blah, blah. Y'all remember that back in September of 2018? Then there was the boat cruise fiasco. His immigration status has always had a huge question mark over it. How is this dude here? The only legitimate work permit he has ever had is as a gardener for his mother's nursery business. And he's not doing any gardening. He's out there as a photographer. He's taking pictures. He is a promoter. He's doing all this stuff, right? Even his social media account, let me show y'all the proof, because now y'all sitting here going, does Sandy really know what she's talking about? Even his social media account, he was so brazen with it. He put up on social media, here it is, that Mario Photography, established in 2008 by Mario Blake. This is how he hoodwinks the girls, talking about he gonna make them models and they're gonna work for his photography company, blah, blah, blah. What photography company? He not got no photography license? There's no photography business? Yeah? On his social media, he claims that he's the owner at Vibes Time Models and Vibes Time Entertainment. Owner how? He was having these Caymanian girls take out the business license, but really he is the real owner and he's out there, the one who's doing all the work and getting all the business and getting the money. And you mean to tell me that all these years later, immigration has never been able to do anything about this man? This is why people like Leanne says, what is going on here? The system is broken and it does not work. I was speaking over the Christmas holidays with some former enforcement officers, right? And they were talking about how they used to chase people down, how they would go and sit down and play dominoes with people and slap the handcuffs on them the same time because they were here working illegally in this country or they had overstayed. What has happened to immigration enforcement in this country? Something not working. And whoever is head of works, and I guess now CBC, they're in the mix together. Y'all need to answer some of these questions on behalf of the people of the Cayman Islands. Now, the people of the Cayman Islands have to take some responsibility as well. Because you all are the ones who are engaging in these marriages of convenience. You all are taking money from people who we do not want in our country, the least desirable of them. Yeah. You all are taking out work permits for people when you know you have no job. So you're part of the problem as well if you're engaging in that type of behavior. But this dude has been married and divorced at least twice to Caymanian women. One young lady, poor her, Ashley Christian, that lasted for about a year. He refused to sign the divorce papers, forcing her to actually lodge a complaint with immigration. And he lawyered up because now his mom is one of them wannabe highfalutin Jamaicans because she won a lawsuit against the Cayman Islands government and we had to give her status. So she thinks, oh, whenever y'all do something I don't like, I'm going to go to HSM attorneys and get it done. So she hired a lawyer for her son. Miss, your son, as Jamaicans would say, is a general. He is a crook, a fraudster. And all you have done is encourage him in his bad behavior. One of these days, he gonna mess with the wrong person's teenage daughter and they gonna chop something off for him. And then I can see what lawyer you will get then. Remember, we had a young lady, 18, 19 years old, come on this show. This is when we had it in the evenings, talking about how this man took her to a deserted spot in the beach at 3:00 in the morning. Despite her wanting to go home and telling him she does not want to go to the beach with him. Never paid her for the work that she did. Y'all know the predators, the murderers, the rapists, the thieves that we have imported into this country and trying to make our own? Well, not today, Bobo. Not today. These women taking out business license. His first wife, here's a joke, worked for the RCIPS. Poor her. How did she get mixed up in this? Only God knows. Jody Ann. I think she actually, is she the PR girl? I can't even remember who the hell she is now. Anyway, they got divorced in 2014. He wouldn't give the second one a divorce because life was so good being the spouse of a Caymanian, because then you don't need a work permit. You can go out there and do whatever you want. This is all in a story that we did back last year, and we've done it before. So now somebody went and finally took the company because he had all these women take that work permits and then he working for them. No taking out the business license. DCI is also part of the problem. We can get to them because it's not just works. It's not just CBC. DCI, how you get a business license, is actually part of the problem as well. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry now can go get a business license. And because the previous government waived the business licensing fee, which as Caymanians we've all benefited from, now it's only an application fee of $75. The problem with that, sometimes on this show I talk about unintended consequences. This is a perfect example of that. We have made it so cheap to enter business in the Cayman Islands that everybody is doing it. People who should never apply for a business license only need $75 and a one-page application form. And they're all in the mix and they're all doing it. No legitimate business. And they're out there taking out work permits for people when they have no work. And those people become a burden on us, become a burden in our community, in our society, because now they're out there hustling. And sometimes their hustle is the wrong kind of hustle. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The intended consequence was to help Caymanians by waiving sometimes hundreds or thousands of dollars in business licensing fees. Now, if you're a Caymanian, you can get it for $75. Then you go out there and your side hustle is to take out work permits for people when you have no work for them. And it is their responsibility to go and find money. Some of them will try to find quote unquote honest work, although it's not legal. And some of them are going to go out there and steal it and get it any which way that they can. So here we are trying to help Caymanians financially. But what we're actually doing is lining the pockets of no good people. the government needs to reconsider that. Only two ways to do it. You either get rid of it completely, and unfortunately that's going to hurt people even like me, or you start to really scrutinize, and I mean really scrutinize, who you are giving licensing to. And it's not something you just get as by right. Start denying some of these applications. I can get more to that here in a second about DCI. So here's another one. Somebody finally took the company in October of 2019, turned it into a limited company. So now they've incorporated it. That company is holding the business license. They have shareholders. There's some guy named Michael Webster. Claims that he works for Vibe Times Entertainment. And he is now trying to take out a work permit, a shared work permit with Mario. This is back in 2021. I can tell you how his situation has changed. Now, to me, that's crazy. And for the record, this Michael, because there's more than one person named Michael Webster, this Michael Webster is not the one that sells insurance. Because honey child, he's like, Sandy, please tell people that that ain't me. So we're not mixing him up in this hot mess. Yeah. So now somebody's trying to take out a work permit for him. Immigration deferred it, and the man's still here working in this country. God only knows how. Cassia Webb, who is she? She's another one who has been helping him. Ashley Christian, from 2014 to 2015, she had the business license. Let me tell y'all something here, folks. At the end of the day, we have got to call out the people who are complacent in this behavior. The Caymanians, whether they were voluntarily hoodwinked or whatever, they have some accountability in all of this as well. Yeah. You can't go marry this fool and allow him to remain in this country doing the stuff that he does and not understand how you are part of the problem. But Brenda says photographer. That's another, I don't know what that word is, segue maybe to stalking people with a lens, even using photos for blackmail. Well, let me tell you about Mario. Y'all don't know the man. He had a computer some years ago that he claims got lost. And the computer got lost, and it had a lot of naked pictures of Caymanian girls on it. Y'all heard me. Naked photos. You know, pornography is not legal in this country, right? You're not supposed to be going out there taking naked photos of people. Some of those photos leaked into the public domain. And that is when he claims, I can get his picture, Jim. Don't worry yourself. I get him. That is when he claims that, oh, his laptop was stolen. Well, a lot of these girls did not believe his laptop was stolen. They believe he started to leak these pictures on purpose of these young girls. And then when the young girls were like, what the hell? I didn't go topless in this photo on the beach, on a secluded beach, or this, that, and the next thing for you to be posting my pictures all over. Oh no, it's not me, you know. My laptop got stolen, so he claimed. This dude has no redeeming qualities. There's nothing about him that we should have been trying to keep him in this country. But as Jonathan said, a lot of these women are the problem. They are the ones, folks, who are marrying them, taking out permits, allowing them to get involved in businesses. And it's not just women. Men are doing it too. Yeah. No standards at all as Caymanians for what we are importing in. Forgive me if I say that to come to my country and to marry me and be able to get any immigration privilege off of me, that is a privilege. And not any and everybody should be able to get it. So what I say to you all is, if the good people or not so good people in this country are not willing to step up to the plate and do their part with preventing people from scamming and using the system, then WORC needs to step up and start to charge people, the spouses, the people benefiting from it, the people who own the business license, the people who are there giving people a work when you know you're not the work permit holder. All y'all need to start going to jail. Give me one quick second. Need to take a commercial break. I'm doing so much talking today that my poor sinus is a little bit agitated.
Whopping news! Burger King Cayman is turning 40 years old and celebrating by giving away over $40,000 of prizes. Just spend $4 to receive a scratch card for your chance to win thousands of food prizes, Burger King merch, and the king of prizes, 10 cash prizes of $1,982. From December 23rd till February 1st, visit your favorite BK location to win big with Burger King's 40th anniversary. Terms and conditions apply.
Renewables are very important to CUC. The environment's going to benefit, the customers are going to benefit.
It is the future. It's not a matter of if it's coming, it's when.
We can't stop. We do need the change.
Really, really excited to talk about how we're going to get a lot of renewable energy on the grid.
We have been working on bringing renewable energy to Grand Cayman for many years now and produced our integrated resource plan back in 2016.
Looking at how we can most effectively not only get renewable energy but reduce the CO2 impact of CUC's operations. You hear the comments or the misnomers that CUC is married to diesel, and quite frankly, that there couldn't be anything that's further from the truth. We know that renewable energy is the right thing to do.
There's a lot of value by using renewable energy, battery energy storage within your integrated grid. A lot of time has to be put together to do your research, understand what it is that you're wanting to put out there.
CUC has the ability to lead that transition, right? And be the first for not only Cayman, but the region.
It's going to be so worth it. It's what I come to work for every single day. To know what we're working on is going to set the country up for success. It's going to be a foundational element of the economy.
Bringing the public along with us is one of the key things to make a success out of it.
To make sure that we're doing our part to reach those United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Our team has been equipped, trained, developed. If we get a go-ahead tomorrow, we start.
And I see it in the future, it's not that far away. It could be as little as 5 or 6 years away, where we'll have times of the day where we are 100% renewable.
All right, folks. So listen, I share the stories of this situation for a reason, because this is a prime example of how the system just does not work. This is a prime example of a man who has so many immigration infractions, how they allowed him to stay here and finally get a baby mama and an anchor baby. Now, I don't know what we can do about him, because he finally got a couple Caymanian children. He found some fools to get pregnant. If we can't get rid of the likes of Mario, what hope is there? Hear what this woman said. She posted this on social media. She said, "I don't trouble people, but when someone takes me for a fool, kiss my effing teeth. Thieving and lying, Mario vibes time. Where is my money that your business partner gave you from our event in March? You are a wicked man. You are a scammer. Aren't you tired of getting bad name?" Well, clearly not, because getting a bad name not stopping him from doing whatever in the Cayman Islands. She goes on, Mr. Mario Blake, imagine you are blacklisted from renting from business places because of stealing. I've been asking you for months for my money, and you have been giving me the runaround. I need my money. I have all receipts and screenshots of messages. You and I have no name, living a fake life as if you are a decent person. Boy, now make me pull your files today, because if I do, your name will be done in Cayman. Remember, you are on work permit and working illegally. For Vibes Time, last time I checked, the T&B was canceled. Just humble yourself and give me my money. Had enough of this S now. What? Say what? Calling the man out on social media. People know that he is working here without a work permit, without a business license. All this stuff. People even tagging him and saying, boy, Mario, they calling your name, you know. You better do something about it. He can't do nothing about nothing because everything people have said about him is true. Vicky says, does Mario's mother have a plant nursery by the old cinema? Yes, that's her. This is the foolishness that this man goes on with. And we allow him to stay in this country, people reporting him to immigration. How is it possible that he's able to remain here? Inquiring minds want to know. This is one example. And if you think this is the only example, you're kidding yourselves. We have lost the plot when it comes to immigration. Folks, the system is broken. 2003, we talked about that yesterday. We made a big mistake, giving a lot of people who were not deserving of status in this country status. It was done literally overnight with the sweep of a pen. That caused a lot of people to be able to jump up and open up businesses when they have no legitimate business. And I can tell you something. I'm not saying that Works is doing nothing at all. Because in fact, I know one Caymanian man, he says that he is so frustrated by Works trying to put him through the ringer with his gardening business that he's thinking about shutting down his business because he has contracts and he has clients and they're still asking him for more and more and more. You know why? Because you, my friend, a hardworking civil servant, a hardworking Caymanian, you are getting caught up in the illegalities of what other people are doing. Morning caller, are you trying to call in the program? Hello? Hello? All right, folks, remember I'm live on the radio. Yes. So even if you call me on my personal line during this time, I'm assuming you're trying to get on the radio show. If you're not, then don't call me right now. So this is what happens. There is just too much of this that is going on. The good get caught up in it and suffer for the bad seeds. But it seems to me that the people that they should be scrutinizing, they are not. Some of these people, and like I said, there's some industries that we need to watch. Domestic is always easy. Yeah. Gardening services, that's a hot potato. Gardening, landscaping, that's a big one. Hairdressing and barber salons, they love that one too. Which other one? Restaurants, you got to watch them too. This is what they're doing. Oh, janitorial. Oh, that's a big one. We should now put a moratorium in place on some of these businesses. No more business licensing for landscaping, janitorial, this, that, and the next thing. Until WORC can get their compliance section together to sort all of this out. Here's what they do. They take out a business license, they'll have no clients. Sometimes that's how it works when you take out a business license, you know. I mean, technically, you could take out a business license and not be making any money for your business. But you're anticipating doing business at some point in time, right? You don't have to be profitable. DCI doesn't get into your business like that. They don't care about that. But when you start taking out work permits for people, this is when DCI should be asking for, oh yes, what's your business plan? We need to ask for a little bit more than just $75 in a one-page application. How are you going to market? How are you going to go out there and get business? Where are these people coming from? Do you intend to employ people? This is why they can get away, even in construction, with not paying people, not paying insurance and pension, all this other stuff. Nobody is checking. It's a sad indictment. The system has gotten away from us all, and we need to rein it back in. Put a moratorium, an immediate moratorium in place for all of those businesses until you can sort out your staffing and enforcement, and you start spot checking a lot of these businesses. Okay? That's one thing you need to do immediately. So, how is it going to work? This is what they do. They set up a janitorial business and they start going to their friends. Oh, you have a little mom and pop shop. You don't really have anybody cleaning it. You clean it yourself because you can't afford all that. But give me a contract. Just put it in writing that I have a contract cleaning your business, because now immigration, WRC is asking to produce contracts. For landscaping business, they say, show us the contracts. Give us a client list so we can call and verify. But even that has now become a scam, because they're paying people to sign a piece of paper and pretend like they have a contract with them. You understand? This thing is getting bigger by the day. And sadly, until we rein it in, there is no hope of stomping it out, and it is only going to get worse. Something drastic has got to be done. Now, this is where I think the government, the elected government, can have a say. They can say, right, how many more bars, restaurants, churches, one-man cleaning companies, landscaping companies, how many more do we need? We don't need any more. Put an immediate moratorium in place until you can get it together. It seems really, really simple, and maybe the government has not really thought about it, but they need to do so. All these marriages of convenience, you can't get a hold of it because there's too many of them getting married every single day. If we were to go through the list of how many of these janitorial companies exist, I do believe that a lot of you will be shocked and surprised. There's 337 pages as of December 2022 of business licenses in the Cayman Islands. My God, these are not exempt companies, Naina. These are not foreign companies who pay a low fee to get to do business here. These people are individuals who have a business license to do business in this country. 337 pages. Let's think about how many licenses that is. Hold on. Let's try to figure out an average. If it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. on that page. Let's say on average, it's 30 per page. It might be give or take. Where's my calculator? 30 times 337 pages. That's over 10,000 potential business license in this country. Really? Come now. Child care, preschool, hair salons, gardening. Let me see how many gardening there are. Let's do a search for gardening. Well, that can't be. There must be another category other than gardening. We need to look at that one. Mobile, mobile mechanics, mobile cleaning. So, I mean, it is just listen. Everybody is now a business owner, and listen, as a business owner, I can tell y'all. And in some respects, you want to encourage that people think, right, I can work for myself. I can make my own money. I can do this. I can do that. The problem, however, is that there is a portion of these individuals that this is not a legitimate and ongoing concern. In other words, it's not a real business. Property management and real estate. Oh God, we gotta get into that. That's a whole other story. Landscaping. Yeah, enough of them. Y'all need to start showing up. Immigration, works, show up to some of these locations and really see who they claim is working in the business if they're actually there. Something got to be done. It's crazy. Miss Darlene says the president government needs to act now. Yes, they do. In the worst kind of way, in fact. Something has got to be done. Because this is what is fueling the immigration crises. It's fueling a whole other market of where people come in this country with no legitimate work. Janitorial companies, all these plumbing companies, this one, that one, building contractors. They don't have no work. Domestic caregivers. You know how many of them are taking out permits for people and have no work for them? And then they tell them to go out there and find their own work? Put a moratorium in place until you can figure out the formula of how to address this. So Jonathan says, but if government does that, they might just stop a real Caymanian from starting their own business. Okay. How are you going to define a real Caymanian? Someone who came here, as they say, by plane and not by plane? Jonathan, some of your real Caymanians are also part of the problem. But I do not believe that they are the majority of people who are doing it, but some of them are doing it too. So, all right, let's compromise. I believe in compromise. Why don't we put it this way? Which, of course, legally you have a problem enforcing this. But if you acquired status by any other method other than being a born Caymanian, then you are going to get caught by this moratorium. You can't do that now, You cannot do that because all of a sudden they're going to lawyer up. They're going to call HSM. Big shout out to HSM. They're calling them. Oh, no, the government can't do that to us. Listen, let me educate you a little bit about a situation. In the UK, you guys remember this video? that we played. I'm going to play it again for y'all. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. As you would say, what made you so salty this morning?
Woo! Now you see, I had to ease them into it. That's why I was talking about shopping first. I couldn't hit them so hard so early in the morning. So I eased them into it. Now we're here.
Okay. All right. Hanging up to listen again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, y'all know we fall under them, right? Issued a statement in mid-December about migrants. Now, the interesting thing about the UK is they have their own problems, child. It's not Cuban migrants, but it's Albanian migrants for the most part. The most interesting and funny thing about it is they're actually passing in through the English Channel, passing other countries and coming straight for the UK. And so their prime minister has said he has had enough. Hold on. Let me find that video snippet now. Where did I put that one? I was watching it again last night. Honey child, the man has said, listen, listen. We can't take any more. We have had enough. And his country is putting him under pressure. Why? Because in the past 2 years, the number of migrants crossing the English Channel and coming into the UK has something like quadrupled what it was before. It's a lot. Yeah. And so it's so many, in fact, that his conservative government has said, sir, with all due respect, you have got to address the influx of migrants. So he made this statement. I'm going to find the video here for you and play a snippet of it. He made this statement, my dear, about the migrants coming into the UK. And he said, listen, if you enter this country illegally, sorry for you, but we're not going to let you stay here. You've got to go. Of course. Human rights people jumping up and down. Hold on a second now. You can't do that. They even took it to the High Court. And the High Court ruled that, yes, he can do it. And in fact, what he is doing is, it's a little bit shady, but it's very, very interesting. What he has said is, while your application is being processed, we're going to send you to a third country. Somebody else can deal with you in that time. So he's sending them to, what country was it again? Hold on, I still tell you. Just trying to find this video. Anyway, he's agreed with a third country. Yep, here it is. Let me see now if I can save it. To ship them off somewhere else, even before their application is processed. Rwanda, thank you, caller. Yes, Rwanda. Now that's on the face of it, that sounds a little bit crazy, but it demonstrates, number one, even the US, the UK, other jurisdictions are having an influx of people from all over the world because we're all facing economic tough times. And that is when things start to happen, right? People start to move, migration kicks up. People are looking for better financial times. He has said, listen, yeah. Y'all not coming to the UK like how you have been in years. If you land here illegally, we will send you to a third-party country that's not going to prosecute you because, of course, they're all claiming the same thing as the Cubans, prosecution, which they know that for the most part, that's a big lie. We'll send you to Rwanda, which we know y'all don't want to go to, and you'll have to apply from over there. Here's the other thing. Caller, give me one quick second. They have also said, in addition to some of the initiatives, that in order to get to England, you're passing other countries in the English Channel. So if you pass France, if you pass other places, and you come here talking about political asylum, we're going to deny you on the basis that if you really were concerned about political asylum, it wouldn't make any difference what country you landed in. You could have gone to France. You could have gone anywhere else. So the fact that you past all those countries to get to us is a clear indication that your application on the face of it is not really what it is. Caller, good morning. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, so hold on 1 second. Somebody said they can't hear you. Let me just double check. Let me see now. Okay, keep going. Let me see now. People can hear you.
Okay, so what I was saying is that you put your prices in place.
Yes.
And it could be any type of business. The real honest, legitimate businesses is going to put their prices in place. They're going to do the right thing as far as the laws and requirements are concerned.
Uh-huh.
But then we have some people that will go out there and probably, I don't know if the solicitor word, but get people that are here running up and down, getting a job, knocking on your door. Can I do a cleaning for you? I'll charge you $50.
Yeah.
Whereas we that have legitimate license and do the right thing, it may charge them to $5, but they prefer to cut on it. And this is what's infesting a lot of these people. You know, many times people has come to me, but can you do a permit for me? And I could do no. You know, I don't have no work for you, so I can't take out no permit for you. You understand? But then it's always a kickback, and in the long run, we as Caymanians are not understanding. This is what killing our country. You know, all of these backdoor deals that people come
Absolutely.
up any day of the week or whatever. You can drive down from Bordentown all the way to town, and you see people standing on the corner. And if you stop by anything, or if they flag you down, oh, you don't, cause they don't even know who they're talking to. You having a day's work, or have a permit, but I need work. How are you gonna looking on the street for a work if you have a work permit? So we as Caymanians need to find our soul. They think that they're doing good when they're picking up these people off the street and doing it when there are people out here that pays heavy fees to run a legitimate company, and we are the ones that don't get the work. You understand? Or get the jobs, I should say. And it starts from government, because government takes the cheapest bid, right? Not understanding that not the cheapest is the best, and then knocks maybe a small person out because a big company can cut the price in half just to have. But those are the same big companies that are paying their workers minimum, which is $6, and I'm paying them $8 to $10 an hour. You understand? So it's really hard. It's hard. It's really hard. And I'm sorry, but government really need to do. I don't care who it is. We need to really get this thing straightened. It needs to
Yes.
be cleared up.
Absolutely.
All right, people.
I
Take care.
couldn't
Have a good one.
agree with you more. Thank you so much, caller, for that.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So, yes, folks, this continues to be an Achilles heel for us, and it's getting more and more serious by the day. Thank you so much. Alejandro says, I agree with that caller. Brenda says, from the time that Mr. Connor left immigration, it went to hell in a hat basket. Ms. Vernita says, I guess we got a lot of Jamaicans gonna leave us now because of gold being found in Jamaica. Don't hold your breath for that, honey child. I don't know what the hell this gold business is, but I wouldn't hold my breath for none of that. Nobody not leaving to find no gold. 2 little pieces of gold, not gonna share between nobody. Dalian Forbes says the UK should be ashamed at such statements after entering other countries illegally and slave their people, then take away their country's wealth and took it to England. But you know what the rules are only written. Well, I mean, let me be very, very clear. Everyone has a right to protect their borders. The problem is, Dalian, no one has unlimited resources. And so when you are running a country, there is a degree of selfishness that is required when you are looking out for your own people. I can't blame the prime minister. I can't blame Joe Biden for saying, and they've all made statements, that they're going to start expediting residents, or they're going to start expediting the process for sending, migrants, illegal migrants back. I don't, in theory, have any issues with that. There is a process in place. If you want to get to a specific country, there are ways in which you do it. I lived in the United States of America as a guest, as a student in that country. Yes, I couldn't go in illegally and expect to be getting all kind of rights and be able to do this or that. That's not how it works the world over. You must respect the laws that are put in place. And just like the UK has the right to put laws in place to secure their borders, the US has a right to do it. France has a right to do it. Everybody has a right to do it. And so does the Cayman Islands. Caller, good morning.
My favorite little place for quite a while now, immigration. Immigration, unless and until we have a thorough look at immigration, to reform immigration, to make immigration work for the Cayman Islands, for the people of the Cayman Islands, it's not going to change. And that means they're going to have the government will have to make some maybe unpopular decisions to protect me and you. I have grandchildren. I even have great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
And I wonder where my grandchildren are going to go. Let alone my great-grandchildren, where they're going to go. Seem like governments, and it's not the PAC government. Because remember, we had that massive status grant in 2003.
Yes.
Don't ever forget that when we mentioned the word migration. We had that
That's where a lot of our issues started, if we had to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. We are feeling the effects of that now from a legal perspective.
Of course.
Because they made those people, it was illegal, but they made them legal. Nobody took it up at that time to say, I'm going to stand against it.
Oh, we tried. No. Let's make sure that history is accurate and correct. In fact, the current premier of the day, Wayne Panton,
I will get into that.
Put his money where his mouth was at the time.
I didn't know about all the money thing I had heard.
Oh yeah. Let me make it very,
I had heard
clear.
That that can't work.
He stood up and said, this is wrong. Legally, this cannot be correct. The legal challenge that came, his name might not have been on the legal challenge, but he financed it and made it possible. I was in the trenches with the Progressives government, and I remember our marches with our wheelbarrows and everything against McKeever Bush when he sold us down the river and gave away our birthright. To some people who had been here mere months, to some people who were not even on island at the time, and to some who were criminals. That's what McKeever Bush did to us back in 2003. Yeah, well, might have been one or two
all you were talking about is 2003.
They tried to give it to them so that they could never have it taken away, no matter what they did. So as soon as they started to get comfortable, which it only took them a couple months to get comfortable, they start breaking crimes, they start doing all kind of stuff, and then they say, "Oh, but cabinet gave me this status, so you can't ever take it from me." The legal challenge came because Premier Panton, who was not premier at the time, he was not even a politician at the time, he was a lawyer, a partner at Walker's law firm. He paid and put up the money for it to be challenged because he believed that it was wrong. And the law had to be changed to ensure that no government could ever do that again.
But was the law changed that no government could ever do that again?
Yes. They put some limitations in place, but let me tell you something now that you're going to find very, very interesting about the law. Because at the crux of all of this, is the law. So when I tell you that the last government has some hand to play in this. Okay. You got to listen now?
You don't really have to go down the road with that one.
A few years ago. The law was changed. Hear you now. The law was changed to allow persons married to Caymanians to immediately be granted PR.
I asked how that would work too.
The law was changed by the Progressive government.
I remember.
So tell me something. This is what I said to someone. I said, listen, I'm married to a foreign national. Don't forget it. And I have no issues with him having to wait the 7 years, because even in the big United States of America,
15,
you're not getting citizenship overnight, honey child. You better stay in that relationship. And if it's miserable enough, you're less likely to stay in it for the wrong reasons. You understand? You can get a green card right away, but you're not getting no friggin' citizenship. You're not getting no passport within a year. Hold on now. It needs to be undone. The progressives did that, and somebody needs to hurry up and undo that.
But we living on the 2003. We living on the 2003.
Well, the impact of these things are far-reaching, right? This is what I'm telling you, that sometimes when things are done, they have an unintended consequence. People are not thinking about it. The argument that Mr. Bush was using at the time was that supposedly, you know, people are here forever and they weren't getting status, and we were looking bad on international front. Blah, blah. That was hogwash. Hogwash.
Talking point.
Yeah.
Talking point.
Complete hogwash. Nothing didn't go so. And the proof was in who he was granting it to.
Thank you.
Everybody was lined up to get it.
I remember the lines out there in the police station to get your
Child, I've never seen so many lines at police station in my life.
Yep. Anyhow, as like I'm saying, you're salty, and unless and until we look at immigration in a totality, not just fixing one little bump here or erasing something there. We got to look at immigration in the totality. And you got to look at immigration as a defense against the rest of the world for generational Caymanians.
Thank you, my dear.
You're not going to ease. You can't get it no other how. Unless you protect my children, it's not going to work. It's wasted time and wasted effort and wasted money, because everything in Cayman costs money. Yes, ma'am, but I'm listening.
All right. Let's listen to some straight numbers now, folks, while we're at it. 60% increase. This is the UK now with their migrant situation. 60% increase on the 2021 totals, which is the highest figure since records began. So that they've been keeping records for God knows how many donkey years. This is the highest figure of illegal migrants that they've had entering the United Kingdom. Went up by 60%. Prime Minister Sunak has set out his plans to reduce the numbers. He's going to increase funding to the National Crime Agency to address immigration crime. Government, pay attention. More raids on people suspected of working illegally. Moving up to 10,000 immigrants into what they call disused university halls and holiday parks to save in hotel costs, because they're spending millions and millions of dollars putting these people up in hotels. Just like us spending $3 million to house illegal Cuban migrants, the UK is doing it on a much larger scale. They have a backlog of over 92,000 asylum decisions is still waiting to be processed. He claims that they're going to get it caught up by the end of 2023. Making amendments to the Nationality and Border Acts. They have an agreement with Albania to place more UK border force staff in their capital because they want to stop them from even getting into the channel. Fast track the return of failed asylum seekers to their country. In November, the government signed a £63 million deal with France to pay for additional French officers patrolling the channel and more use of drones. Sending some asylum seekers to Rwanda so that their claims can be processed there. Again, critics claimed that this was against the law, and they went talking about human rights. The human rights people came out. Well, the High Court said it was lawful. The Nationality and Borders Act made it illegal for migrants to knowingly enter the UK without a visa or special permission. And people that arrive illegally, there's somebody from Jamaica calling me. I don't know if this is a call to the program. Hi, caller. Are you calling to the program?
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
Hello. Morning.
Calling into the program.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
May I say a personal call Sunday to remind you about the girl.
On Sunday. Oh Lord, I get so many messages now. Maybe you should WhatsApp me because I can't even remember what this one is about now, my dear. But did you want to make any comments on the show?
Yes.
Okay. We're talking about immigration this morning.
Repeat?
No, we're talking about immigration this morning. Was that on your list of things to talk about? No. Okay. All right. Just WhatsApp me and refresh my memory about what this is about, and we'll arrange another time for you to call in the program. Okay.
All right.
Okay, dear. Thanks so much. Child, sometimes I legitimately can't remember. I get so many calls and messages, and one woman called me yesterday. She's in a marriage of convenience, and now she wants to talk. I mean, I don't make this stuff up. Y'all be shocked. Anyway, they have a long list of things that they are trying to do to address the situation. Let's have a listen to some of what he said.
Mr. Speaker, I said enough is enough, and I mean it. And that means I am prepared to do what must be done. So early next year, we will introduce new legislation to make unambiguously clear that if you enter the UK illegally, you should not be able to remain here. Instead, you will be detained and swiftly returned either to your home country or to a safe country where your asylum claim will be considered. And you will no longer be able to frustrate removal attempts with late or spurious claims or appeals. And once removed, you should have no right to re-entry, settlement, or citizenship. And furthermore, if our reforms in Albania are challenged in the courts, we will also put them on a statutory footing to ensure the UK's treatment of Albanian arrivals is no different to that of Germany or France. The only way to come to the UK for asylum will be through safe and legal routes. And as we get a grip of illegal migration, we will create more of those routes. We will work with the UNHCR to identify those most in need, so the UK remains a safe haven for the most vulnerable.
All of that has been said almost word for word before. But last time we had measures, the last time we had legislation. Plenty of newspaper headlines about wave machines, prison ships, fantasy islands, but no effective action. All designed to mask failure, to distract from a broken asylum system that can't process claims, can't return those with no right to be here, and can't protect our borders. Over 40,000 people have crossed the Channel this year. That's a record, but only 2% have had their asylum claim processed. What happens to the other 98%? They're placed in hotels costing around £7 million a day. Bad for refugees who want to rebuild their life, bad for taxpayers.
Lord have mercy. £7 million a day? Now I can see why some of them running over here. So, woo! It's a hot mess the world over. But I think we have certain advantages in this country, and one is our size. We don't have 40,000 people, thank God, that came here illegally. Our size means that we can get it together relatively quickly. We just have to focus. One of the things that's interesting, I'm glad Olivia said this. She says, my apartment complex is full of Jamaicans on permit, and they're not working. They're here gambling, smoking weed, and doing illegal babysitting. France Manderson, Premier Panton, Deputy Premier Chris Saunders. Here's something that you should do. You know how we have Crime Stoppers, where y'all want to give rewards to whatever, help fight crime? We need to set up a reward system for people like Olivia to start providing names and locations of where her apartment complex is and where all these people at. Incentivize people to help you fix immigration. Start outing and providing this information to enforcement. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you today?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Well, this is always a hot topic. There's no time when you can discuss immigration without it being a hot topic. And you are hitting a lot of points today, as well as I think a lot of your callers are hitting a lot of the points. Some of the things I want to mention are just how wide this issue is, how national and international this issue is.
Absolutely.
You see, the idea of refugees is something that was born. I don't know if it was your program I called or maybe some other show. I said then that, you see, the issue of refugees arose in Europe, particularly at the time when the Jews were being persecuted. And a number of people there, like the Armenians, like really being persecuted in a big way. And so they said, well, look, if people can't stay in a country because of their identity and they are persecuted like that, we need to have these conventions which will allow them to go to the next country and be able to live safely. But then over time now, it has become widened to a point where some people who are economic migrants, people who are trying to go to another country just to earn, to have a better life, they are now saying, oh, but you see, I'm being persecuted. And you rightly pointed out that, look, if you are genuinely being persecuted, how do you go from country A, then you go to country B, and then country C, then you come to the fourth country, you say, well, I'm still running away from my first country. I know a guy who left Tanzania, went to South Africa for a few months to try and get a job. They couldn't get a job, then went to the States for a year. And then Trump, when his immigration policies became tough, that guy came to Canada and applied for a refugee status here. At what point really can you keep saying that you've got you are still pursuing like running away from persecution? But then the problem also is that you've got then politicians and governments, especially in the larger countries, who have politicized it. Why? Because they want to make the rules a little loose, because they want cheap labor. Because a lot of these refugees, at the time when they are waiting to be processed, in a lot of countries they can work. They can go and work in warehouses and so forth. And then in America, as you know now, there's even a talk that the Democrats want people from the South to come in because most of those people are voting for them. So there is also this political side of it. But coming back to Cayman, you see, in Cayman, it's a broader issue. To me, I don't think the government should be talking about, well, we want to get tough on the Cubans. They should get tough on the Cubans. But you see, the problem also is that the government itself is not doing enough to be able to tighten the immigration law and the work permit system to ensure, for example, that Section 4 of the immigration law which used to say, of the immigration regulations, which used to say that if you apply for a work permit, they shall ask you to say what programs you're going to put in place to help Caymanians, ascend to those positions. They changed that from shall to may. So it has to be a very broad program of dealing with all these issues altogether. And so that the whole matter is attacked from the national and international level. Let me end on one point. Look at the Cuban situation. Why are there so many Cuban migrants? It's because of the embargo mainly. Cuba was a very progressive country. A lot of people in America now are saying, look, the embargo has been going on for 60 years. If you would lift the embargo, there will be a lot of opportunities for Cubans there. So to me, I think that also has to be looked at, although it's not for Cayman to do that. But I think it helps to just gain a perspective of what the problem is. The UK, I think, is doing the best that it can. But at the end of the day, we must understand their laws. Okay, no. Let me close on this next point to agree with what you said. You see, there are people, for example, there's somebody who called there and said, I think he said that how can the UK go to other countries and take them over? And then when people come to your countries, no. As you rightly said, you can't live a life like that because that's not the way the law works. I know people in Mexico, in Mexico, some of them feel, well, we can go to America. After all, the southern part of the United States used to be part of Mexico. Well, that is true. But you see, once the law comes into place and so on, you have to respect the law. But it is a wide problem. I think you are hitting the issues. It needs to be looked at holistically, nationally and internationally. Thanks very much, Sandy. You have a good program. I'll keep listening.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
All
Bye.
right, my dear. Boy, the question, listen, we need to start addressing it, I think really is the bottom line. So here's a couple things. People are sending some of the comments. Let's read some of these that have come in. This individual says, all companies, big or small, should be demanded accounts to show payroll, etc., in every application submitted. That way, all these cashless companies that are frauding the place will fall away. Government needs balls. I like the idea. Now, as someone who, again, owns a business, what I have in my bank account shouldn't be any of government's business. However, we see this happening all the time. Like if you want to sponsor an individual to come here, you got to give up your bank account information. You got to show that you've actually got a payroll system in place. You're paying pension and benefits. Because if we tighten the noose on compliance all the way around, these fraudulent businesses are less likely to exist. Listen carefully. If you own a gardening service and you're, as this person said, a cashless business, you have the license, taking out work permits of people and don't have any work, but you are being forced to pay pension and insurance, and we make sure that you're complying, guess what? You are less likely to do it. Yeah? Because where are you going to get pension insurance money from? Remember the young lady, Caymanian, for the record, who the magistrate said she wishes that she could do more about her when it came to not paying pension and insurance? Remember the scam that she was running? Where she was actually taking out permits for people, claiming to have work for them, cancel the insurance, cancel the pension, and then when it come time for renewal, she'd run to another company and take out another policy again. The judge says, my hands are tied. I would love to throw you in jail. However, because of how she was doing it and because of the constraints in the law, there's very little. Which magistrate was that again? That was Magistrate Hernandez. She said there was very little that she could do. So the law is part of the problem.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, when you're on your talk show, I would want you to talk about this little topic, because what happened is that when you put in for a work permit for somebody to work and help you with your apartment, they don't want to give you the permit. And people that is not working, whole lot of people in Windsor Park area not working, must sit down in them house a daytime not doing nothing. And I mean, it's ridiculous because people who really need the permit, they don't want to give them. You own a house and you're asking for a permit for somebody to help you. So clean up the yard, fix up the apartments, do things like that they don't want to give you. But they give all these people that sit down in the house not doing nothing.
Well, like I said earlier, the legitimate people are going to suffer for the bad seeds.
That's true. That's
So
true because
it's
pregnant
unfortunate,
people.
but the people who shouldn't be overly scrutinized, those are the ones that they're going to tend to scrutinize.
True, because what they are doing is get false. They are getting false, what you call it now, contract to get the permit. And then you have to tell lie to get the permit, and that's not nice. So then you have to do false contract and bring it in and get the permit. And when they get the permit, they have them sit down in the house, them under air condition, and some of them are breed, have with big belly, and they're still here sitting down doing nothing, and people have permit for them.
It's a mess.
If you're pregnant, if you come here and you are pregnant and you're on a work permit, I think they should have sent you home.
Well,
because you're on a work permit, only using your condition.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, there's certain things that you have to kind of be careful with when it comes to the law. But a lot of people are coming here trying to get their oh gosh, what do you call it? Their anchor babies, you know, under their belt. And so even under the guise of getting pregnant and having children, they're doing that for a very specific reason. Not that they really want children, they want to be good parents even.
Right. And then they're on a work permit. If you're living here, that's a different story because you know that you got to breed and have baby. But I mean, you're on a work permit, you're doing no work.
I mean,
people who want somebody to work, they don't want to give them.
Yeah, there is a restriction of under a certain salary that you're not supposed to have children. I mean, you can have the baby, but then you got to send the baby back home. But we can even see that there are loopholes in that because remember when the woman with the COVID child, you know, when the child got COVID and almost died, and then she wanted to go to America, and America was like, number one, you're not vaccinated. Neither parent was vaccinated. And number two, we're not allowing you to come here whether your child's on death's door or not. When you actually are Jamaican nationals and you can go to Jamaica. And that's why the child, Cayman Airways, this government picked up the expense of chartering a jet to send that poor child to Jamaica to save her life.
My God.
Yes. And you know, Cayman Airways, that big 787 or 77, whatever the heck it is, 747-8 or whatever it is.
Yes.
That plane not cheap to fuel up and go to Jamaica, but because of the equipment that the child needed and the medical professional she needed to be with her, even for that short journey to keep her alive, there was no other, you know, plane that could take her. They had to, actually, let me back up. I think it was actually the Saab that they used to send. But anyway, we still had to fuel up a jet and send her to Jamaica to be able to save her life. And people started to ask questions. Hold on a second. How was this child here for all of these months? It was a situation where the mother had tried to get her in her work permit, but she was not making enough money to do so. And it was turned down. And nobody at immigration was like, okay, the child needs to leave. And the child ended up staying in the jurisdiction and almost dying on our watch. Yeah.
I think they need to do like what they used to do first time, was go around and check these houses sometime. Go around like what they used to do one time ago and check. Because it is so many people here that is not working, and you apply for a permit for somebody to clean up your yard and your own house here and you cannot get it. And these people lie down at them bed in an air condition right through the time not working.
Thank you, caller.
So they need to send out back the immigration, them like what they used to do one time ago.
Yes.
And let them, don't put on no immigration clothes. Just come around and check.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
They will see what is going on.
They need some, thank you, caller. I appreciate that. They also need some incognito immigration officers because everybody know who the 121 people in enforcement. They need some other people train people on the side and have them go out there and sit down and play dominoes at people. Use mules, use immigration enforcement mules. So when they're sitting there talking to these guys don't have no clue who they are. Because if you send out poor little Elvis, or I don't even know who else they got enforcement these days, everybody gonna be like, oh, we know he work enforcement, whether he in uniform or not. He got to stick out like a sore thumb. Get yourself a couple Jamaicans, a couple yardies, pay them a few dollars to work for you incognito, and pick up these people. But I agree with this in terms of the documentation. Have them show you the flow of money coming into the business account, going out of the business account. Like I was just saying, I run a small business, and the couple little coins that I make, not know about a business. However, there are times when I don't have a choice. I have to produce financial records. So when CNB comes to me and says, Miss Sandra Hill, we're updating our KYC documents, and you have 3 business licenses, 4 business licenses, and we need you to provide this on this one, this one, this one, and I got no choice. Mind you, they can see what's in the account anyway. But, I keep proper financial records. I show my invoicing. I show where the money's coming from. I show how the money is going out. And so if the bank can demand it of you, what is stopping the government from demanding it of you also? Good morning, caller.
Yes, Andy, talking about training people on the side. What happened to some of these very capable, retired but in good shape customs officers and police officers? I see them on a daily basis, and these are officers with experience in enforcement.
Yes.
Why
Listen,
don't
the glory days of
government
enforcement look like it's over, It's long gone.
Well,
so I don't know, but they need to do something. They need to do something. Of
Yeah,
course,
because
Cayman being as small
I
as
see some
it
very
is.
capable officers out there that has retired because of health, no, because of age. They just did their time. But I'm sure they're able to still, do those kind of job, make them undercover.
Yes.
Simple.
Well,
I
don't care. I don't care where to find them from, but my suggestion is just find them and put them to good use. Because
but I'm wondering why we, as a common person, I don't want to say myself common, but can come up with these ideas and our government don't see. Anyway,
my dear, your guess is as good as mine. Caller, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yes, Sandy. Morning.
Hello,
Sticking with the topic of immigration stuff. I had this. Remember, I called in about this whole entire situation with the immigration, giving me a hard time, especially with my business license and things.
Yes.
Now I just got I had my business license for how long now? Since October, and they sent it to the wrong email, and I found out that, and I got it sorted out, right? But no, I trying to open another business at the same time, and it's a partnership with my cousin, my blood cousin, and obviously he is a foreigner because I have foreign family, like a lot of us came on people, and the thing is about it, right? When I go to immigration, there is one particular, it's more than one, but this is one particular immigration officer that is there that's always giving me a hell of a time whenever I ask for a visitor extension because of me trying to wait for this business license to be approved. Now, with this family member that I have now, he has been on this island years now, years, and then on and off the island at the same time. And he decided to come back because he heard of my mother passing away, and I having a really difficult time sustaining myself on this island. Now, he brings his skills from Honduras. I'm gonna name out the country, Honduras, because I have Honduran family. And then he decides that, okay, let's open up a business because I have this skill, and I am in this same category with the business as well, which I have minimal skill with woodwork. And when I go to immigration to ask for these extensions, they are giving me a runaround, and I tell you, this particular officer is a good thing. I respect people's identification. I haven't gotten her name, right? But she has been giving me a bad attitude, like jucking the paper away from me, showing my acknowledgement letter, showing my proof of Caymanian, all this type of stuff, right? And I hate it when they discriminate somebody because of their race. Now, I don't know if it's something about her personal problems with Spanish people, but look here, when I show her, look here, if you don't want to grant my cousin his extension for this, for us waiting for this business license to be approved, right? I will open up a permit for him, and I did it right in the front of her face because I had to get Miss Dulce. She's a really nice person to help me out with this. And she got this bad attitude, and I don't know if it's just against Caymanians or if it's against us Hondurans or what is it. But I think it's a very, very bad crime that they are doing this thing in public. It's disgusting, like when they are trying their best and level best to try and disapprove of something that is trying to help a Caymanian, and I'm a well-known Caymanian to a lot of the people in the public. Now, I am not a bad person, so I don't know if it's a personal problem she has with me or if it's a personal problem she has with Spaniards. But I do not like that. As a Caymanian looking at another Caymanian, it's a disgrace. And this is immigration's biggest problem, and I don't know what we can do about it. But I think the only solution is to call out names. Yeah, it's really disgusting when they know that they're trying to hold down Caymanians from having legitimate businesses, a legitimate work privilege, so that they can just have a hate. It's a hate crime. It's a hate crime. I have a personal problem with this individual because of her attitude with me. All the time. And it's not only just work permit problem, because when I had to get the acknowledgement from my daughter, and they said that they're threatening my girl about they're gonna send her and my baby back. Come on now. And I had to go personally to go and see what they are talking about for real. Come on, this is a disgrace. Immigration needs to be needs to have some sort of like a private auditor or something like this to just go and check out what's really going on inside of immigration, because it's the employees. I have no problem with immigration. I have no problem with anything at the government. They're the best people that I know of, but they have a lot of individuals in there that are really disgusting. Really, really disgusting. It's a good thing I don't like ask for names, because there's only a proven point that I'm going to expose them.
What a mess. All right, my dear. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, without a doubt, there's some issues on the other side as well. Like I said, they always seem to, the people that they seem to give a hard time to are not the ones that they should really be focusing their energy on. But, their argument will be like, we're trying to catch other people and everybody getting caught up in it. Here's another one, says, unless and until they are willing to fix the legislation, we will always be bending back over to kiss other people's behinds. But too many of their powerful friends holds the money and dirt over their heads. So until they're willing to fix the immigration law, it will never get any better. It has been limited to 4 cabinet grants per year now. We have recommended so many changes for years, and they continue to ignore the requests. Why do you think HSM wins every single case they take to court against WORC? Because we refuse to change the law and tighten up the loopholes. Another commenter says, and when an application is refused, the politicians are the first ones calling, wanting us to change the decision. And they talk out the sides of their mouth, and they say they don't have any influence over the immigration department. They can't interfere. BS. They do it for who they want to do it for. WRC needs more staff to efficiently process the thousands of applications we receive. And Chris Saunders flat out said WORC isn't getting any staff. Lord Jesus. What a mess. The issues are there, but we got to find some viable solutions. Asking for accounts and records, because if you are operating a business, you have to be prepared to keep proper records. Sorry for you, but that's part of the deal. You want to be a business owner? No problem. Just like you have to pay people, you have to take out an insurance plan, pension, so on. Make them prove to you. There's certain questions you can ask to demonstrate that these are legitimate businesses, not just having a business license. Okay, here's a story that I was just remembering about this young lady, August of last year. Headline says, magistrate frustrated over weak laws. One of her own, Fool Caymanian. If you get insulted, too bad for you. Yeah? Marrying these no good people from a yard and then doing all kind of stuff. Chriselle Larissa Edwards, only 27 years old, and she's already figured out how to hoodwink the system at the age of 27. Imagine when she hit 30, what's she going to be doing? Insurance fraud, Naida. Can only give her 240 hours of community service to be completed over 12 months. What she was doing was, again, not having insurance for her workers. Take out the initial policy just to get the business license and then cancel the policy. Step off for a minute. How easy is this to fix? Anybody, just like you have compliance with pension, these pension companies are supposed to be reporting stuff to DCI, to WRC, do the same thing with insurance. If somebody takes out an insurance policy and they cancel it without showing you evidence that that work permit holder or that employee no longer works for them, every single month, the insurance company should be providing a list to somebody in enforcement to say these are the policies that have been canceled. She thinks she's bright, but she's not really that smart. But when you have a system that is no compliance, no checks and balances, nothing, even the not so bright scammers can get away with foolishness. It would have been easy to stop her a long time ago, and she did this for years. Yeah? Was able to get away with it. Her workers getting sick and no insurance coverage. The judge said it was a relatively sophisticated system. Well, and not really all that sophisticated, but when you don't have nothing in place to catch her, of course you're going to do it for over 5 years and get away with it. The magistrate said she wished that she could send her to jail. This should be a jailable offense. Y'all say whatever you want about the United States of America, but they don't play. Insurance fraud, bank fraud, money laundering. And listen, they don't care who you are. You see that housewives, another housewives going to jail again. Her name is Jen Shaw. She got 6.5 years in jail after she did a plea deal. She pled guilty to wire fraud. They dropped the money laundering charge and her behind still going to jail for 6.5 years. And listen, unlike Cayman, they're going to serve in a federal prison 80% of their sentence. We're at 60%. We need to shape up a bit. She big time celebrity, walk around with designer handbags and this and that, most of it fake. The judges don't care. The penal system does not care. They're going to make an example out of her because she was running a telemarketing scam, taking money from old people. They say you've hurt a lot of people and you're behind and go to jail. This one, defrauding the system for over 5 years and don't see jail. What kind of business? Platinum builders and clean source janitorial. Here we go again. You see the janitorial businesses I'm telling y'all about? Domestic services. It's those same businesses over and over again. Take out insurance policies for their workers just to get the permit approved and then cancel the policy. You mean to tell me that nobody at these insurance companies could see a pattern after 5 years? Come now. This is common sense. And once you have committed this type of a fraud on the system, she should not be permitted to get another business license again. This now is where the legislation, once again, has got to change. You catch a thief one time, you catch somebody once defrauding the system, stop them dead in their tracks, send their ass to jail. And on top of it, you don't get to get another business license just so. You lose the privilege of being a business owner in this country because it was never a legitimate business. And when you have insurance that you don't take out for your staff, listen, pension is one thing because that's your future, that's your retirement. That is still thievery at a high level. It's still theft. And they need to rewrite the pension law, call it what it is, theft, and make you liable to go to jail. Because there are people in this country who have owed people hundreds of thousands of dollars in pension. And when it comes down to it, they get fined a couple $100 because the law is so slack. The law has no teeth. And this is where this government now needs to get their ish together and start putting some teeth to some of the legislation. It's been sitting there for donkey years with no teeth. Pat, government, step up to the plate. You can fix it. One swoop of the pen. You've been busy with legislation. Add these things to your list as well. This can't be right. But when you have the audacity to not give people insurance coverage, people dropping down sick. One man the other day had a stroke, and he come to find out his employer didn't have no insurance for him. His poor wife trying to find money to pay doctor bill. It is the type of situation in a medical emergency that you don't need that stress. That's why y'all sit here and you hear me talk about certain people. And believe me when I tell you, these people need to be exposed for who and what they are. See what Sharon says? She's at it again. Expose her. Yes, that's a wicked girl. She has an MO. And she's not going to stop because the system allows her to do it with no real penalty in place. So, when I tell you guys, listen, I don't care who you is, If you do stuff like this, you end up in the penal system, the court system, you're going to end up on CMR. Your face is going to be all over the place because people need to be warned about you. Just like the scammer that ran Jamaica the other day. If Sherry Ann had been reading CMR like how she's supposed to, she would have known to never rent to him because he already been featured on our website, on the social media page. She would have known, oh God, don't rent to him. How many of you went to this Shutter guy, Garfield Rob, and didn't read CMR? You need to pay attention because you can help yourself and avoid being victimized by some of these scammers as well. Don't be a volunteer to the victimization. Educate yourself and protect yourself. So, this is not the kind of person that you want to work for. When I say to you, it grieves my heart, especially when they're Caymanians that do it, right? Because they are becoming part of the problem in destroying their own country. Ruth Anna Young, another prime example. In many respects, a nice young lady, but she don't need to be in business. Ruth Anna should never hold another business license in her life. She has had at least 3 or 4 failed businesses right now. And when I say failed businesses, I don't mean that one day you wake up and go, oh God, I need to file for bankruptcy because I can't pay my own bills. No, I mean, you're not paying your staff, you're not paying pension, you're not paying insurance. And years later, you still owe them all this money. Yeah. So it's not that I'm picking on people. I'm just telling you all the truth about people. So when she jumped up and says she wants to jump for politics, I'm like, honey child, please go sit your ass down and take 5 seats. Because you could never in a million years be a politician in this country while I'm sitting here telling the people the truth. Anybody who votes for you need to have their head checked. There was a woman that worked for her. Let me break it down to you in human terms. Why you can understand why I take these things personally and why I get so upset. There is a woman that worked for her that was pregnant and had some complications with her pregnancy. The woman ended up having a miscarriage. She doesn't even have any children, so that would have been her only child. Ended up having a miscarriage and didn't, lost the pregnancy, lost the baby. And I'm sure the stress of finding out that she never had no insurance in place, although the money was being taken out of her pay, every single pay period, might have even contributed to her having the miscarriage. Those things are wrong. You are a heartless person when you can employ people and don't even give them the benefit of insurance coverage so that when something happens to them and the worst times that you could possibly be in, at least they will not have that stress upon them. And then you want to jump up and talk about you want to run for politics in this country? No, TD. Not today and not next year either. She still owes this poor woman how many thousands of dollars after staying in her house for over a year and not paying a dime in rent? Because you want to put your hat higher than you can reach it? If you can only afford a 2x4, a little condo, no, you must go get 4 or 5 bedroom house that you know you can't afford and then don't pay the woman no rent. And then years later, you still not paying the woman her rent every month. You could be paying that $1,000-$2,000, but your ass can get up and get on a flight and go to Jamaica and party? Talking about you got a lawyer boyfriend? Y'all don't want the truth on this show. You hear me? Y'all do not want the truth. Because there are too many Caymanians, as my aunt used to say, pretty face and dirty behind, that would be exposed on this show. And I sit here every day and I'm begging and pleading for people to do the right thing. Politicians are part of the problem too. Let's call them out while we're at it. Yeah. Because they're the same ones who gave her job in political office and the opposition office, Mr. Arden and others, Chris Saunders and everybody else who was part of the opposition at the time, knowing full well that she had owed all these people money. She has the audacity to go to a Filipino worker and say to her, now this is a woman's salary we're talking about, what do you need the money for? You don't have any kids back in the Philippines depending on you. None of your damn business what I need my money for. If I work and I make my money, I'm supposed to get paid. If it's based on commission and how many hairs, I'm supposed to get paid. It is none of your business whether I have children and what I spend my money on. You can imagine the type of person it must take for you to not pay people their salary, their health insurance, and their pension. And when they say, oh, Miss Ruthana, I need my money, because you know them poor Filipinos need to grow some balls. She gonna say to you, oh, what do you need money for? You don't have any kids to take care of. And then you talking about you want to run for politics in this country? We got enough no good politicians in there. Step aside. The law needs to change. People like her should be in jail for not paying pension and insurance. She leaves one rental place owing all kind of rent money to those people. Turn around, run to the Colonels, open up another salon. This is what I'm telling you guys. DCI has a part to play. How do you get a license for another business when you owe thousands upon thousands of dollars in pension and insurance and rent? Yeah? How does DCI give you another license when you have a failed business over on this corner of Walker's Road and you stay right in Georgetown and go right next to the courthouse and rent from the Colonels? And poor Caymanians, they seem so clueless. I guess the Colonels didn't know until after the first 2 months and they kicked her out too for non-payment of rent. But how do you get a business license? How do you turn around and get a business license for cleaning people's home and domestic and you not even pay your own workers? The system is woefully broken and we need to fix it without fear or favor. We call her out. That don't mean that we don't like her. That don't mean that we don't think you're cute and you in the gym working out. All that stuff is great, but you're horrible at business. Don't give her another business license. Oh, now people still messaging me. Oh, she still owe me money. The poor little Filipinos, one of them, the brother died from COVID. The father died from COVID. They don't even have money to bury their dead relatives because of this woman. And yet she walk around Cayman trying to get sponsorship to run for political office in the next election. Girl, please do yourself a favor and do me a favor and don't do it. And you know the saddest part of this is For years, people coming to me, Sandy, you need to expose her. You need to do this, you need to do that. I talk to the girl, talk to the father. Please sort out your business. I do not want to have to put you on blast because you are a bright young lady. You have your future ahead of you. I don't know what's going on here, but fix your business. It got so bad that the person said to me, I want to know what you're protecting her for. Because it gives me no pleasure talking about my own people in this way and showing how some of us just don't know damn good. Okay. Since we're going to go there, there's another electrician now I got called out this morning. Lord Jesus. Well, in for a pound, in for a penny. Alan Scott. Lord have mercy. I have given you every opportunity to get your stuff together. I have been messaging you. I have been saying, listen, you need to sort out your business. And all now, you can't do it. You run a business and you're not a business person and you have no clue what it is that you are doing. Business not for everybody. Okay? Just because you have an idea, sometimes it might be a good idea, sometimes it's not. That does not mean that you need to jump up and go get yourself a business license and you need to open up business and you need to get into business. If you can't help yourself, if you don't know how to pay your workers, if you don't know how to do the work for your clients that they're hiring you to do, then don't do it. Work for somebody else. Let somebody else have the business. They manage the workload. They schedule stuff. They know what, being a business owner takes a degree of organization, and not everybody has that skill set. Sometimes, honey child, you are meant to be a worker bee and nothing else. Know your limitations. Be realistic. Because nobody in this day and age can afford to work hard for their few little coins, give it to you, and then have you not complete their job. Whether it's a house, and I don't care if it's $1 million house, or it's a $5 job, or a $10 4x4 or whatever. Reached out to him, said, sir, please, I don't know you, but I want you to do the right thing and to really sort out your business. You owe these people $1,800. Find the money and pay them. And in fact, the thing to do, really, sometimes you got to do this when you're in business, right? This is what you must do. You're in the wrong. What you have to do is suck it up, buttercup. Okay. Go to a friend, say, listen, I found myself in a little bit of a predicament. I'm trying to come out of it, trying to sort it out, blah, blah, blah. Let me borrow some money from you. Get in trouble with your friends. Because after a while, they're gonna find you out. They're gonna deal with you in a different kind of way. But it's better that you owe a friend some money than to owe clients and customers money and put yourself in bad stead with them. Oh, Jesus. I have messaged this man so many times that I am sick and tired of messaging him. I can't message him again. I said, sir, you're going to end up on Mall Road. Yeah, I'm trying to get the money. I'm waiting on somebody to pay me. That has been the excuse every single time. I can't take no more excuses from this man. Now you're going to become Insta famous. And nobody not gonna want to give you no work because they're gonna see exactly the type of person that you are. If you have a skill set, you're a painter, right? But you're not a business person, you don't know how to invoice people, you don't know how to do nothing, then leave that alone. Go out there and work for somebody else. Don't do it because you're gonna find yourself in trouble. So, like I said, he's a Cayman Braca. That's all I can tell you. And I don't know if this Filipino woman in the picture is his girlfriend or who she's supposed to be. But Lord have mercy. Now you're having to have me put your business out there. That you're not a person who can actually handle the work and get stuff done and take care of your business like you should be. Giving you every opportunity to pay the people them. Poor Mr. Allen just can't get it together. Anybody can give him a loan to help him out. You know, enough is enough. The woman has waited over a year. She's been patient. Her patience has run out. My patience has run out. Proof that it was paid. Alan D. Scott. What name his company is? Voltec Electrical. Doing a shoddy job. Can't complete the work. Give the people back their money. Oh, promises, promises. I will have cash by tomorrow evening. So many promises. I'm going to call your grandson tomorrow. And nothing has happened. Unable to rent the property because they didn't have any more money to go and pay anybody else. And he can't return the money. $1,800 is a lot of money to come by in this day and age. People are hurting out in these streets. Don't fool with people if you're not a real business person. Leave it alone. Seriously. Mr. Allen, you need to find the woman money and pay her back. It's as simple as that. Miss Judy says, wow, how these people do all this and still walk around innocent, my dear, because they have gotten accustomed in Cayman to being able to, as Aunt Lottie would say, pretty face. So they put up the face and they walk around and people don't know. And even the people that do know, not gonna say nothing, and they smile up in their face and they're pretending. Those times have come and gone in the Cayman Islands. No more pretense. We need to start being honest with each other. If you're going around hurting people in business dealings, 2023 not gonna be the year for you. I hate to tell you. Because the people need to know, because this comes down to being the exact same issue that we're talking about when it comes to violations with immigration. It's the same sort of people. You're not paying pension. You're not paying insurance. You're not paying their salaries. That is what forces people sometimes to get into these other side hustles.
Mga kabayan, nakatutok po kayo sa...
My apologies. So they're part of the problem too. Ms. Darlene, some of them just don't care. They have little, no shame. Well, that's obvious. And you know why? Because of us Caymanians. We always want to make people feel like, oh, you don't worry about nothing, my dear child. You can do this to people and still walk around, want to be up in society. You can owe all this money to the very daycare. You can't afford these things, and you know you can't afford it. Lower your standards. At law, they said, don't put your hat higher than you can reach it. You know what that means? Live within your means. If you can't afford private school and a helper, what are you sending your child to Montessori for? Even to them had to threaten to take Ruth Anna to court. Seriously. If you can't... Listen to me. Caymanians, we got some serious problems around the place, yeah. There is nothing wrong with living humbly within your means. You're not gonna be dressed up. You don't have to have the latest frocks. You can downsize in life. You know, they had to tell somebody, they call me and ask me to help them with something. And they tell me it over $800. I said, honey, child, I wouldn't buy that item at $800 for my own self, much less for you. Even if I had $1 million in the bank. When you beg in a favor, live within your means. Even when you're not begging a favor, live within your means. have a budget. But this is typical Caymanians, you know. Even when we begging, we won't act like we kings and queens around the place. Nope. I love when people say to me, oh, how you can go from driving a Mercedes to driving a Honda. I said, you want to know how I can do it? The Honda starts just as good as the Mercedes. Maybe not as comfortable, if I had to be honest. You know, there's certain features in the Benz that you listen, it's a luxury vehicle. But my gas bill right now is cut in half. It's a hybrid, so I get good gas mileage. Child, that'll last me all 3 weeks. Yeah. Insurance is cheaper. I paid cash for the car, so I don't owe no bank no money. I'm getting out of debt. And most importantly, I'm on a goal this year to try and pay off my mortgage. That's how I can do it and put my head down at night and not have to worry about it. And the joke is, if I want to get another Benz, I could go out there right now and afford it. That's not the problem. But there's some areas where even to me have said, you need to cut back. Spend a little less here, there, and everywhere. Because you got a financial goal that you're trying to reach that will give you a degree of financial freedom. You're trying to actually become a real homeowner where the bank don't own it. You own it. And with that comes sacrifices. But Caymanian's not about that life. We too busy pretending and flossing and trying to impress other people that they don't really give a shit about you, to be honest. They come and eat you out and turn around and talk behind your back in any event. Jonathan says that money has been put in a penthouse suite in the Philippines long ago, probably paid for in full too. I don't know, honey child, but Mr. Allen, you better find out $1,800 for this woman because she's going to take you behind the court for it. Charles said a lot of people don't understand the difference between the needs and the wants, and that is true too. They sound like a broken record. I want. Like you said, it's all about the wants, and they don't get it. Miss Diamond Princess says they've become accustomed to doing things over time, and they get away with it, and then they continue to do it. And, let me be very frank here. A lot of us have learned a really poor monetary habits from our own parents. Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing with money. They were horrible with money. And they passed that along to us. As they say, sometimes the apple don't fall far. But when you become an adult and you're responsible for yourself, you better find a way to get some financial counseling or something and sort out your own business. And not at the detriment of other people. All right, we're about to wrap it up here. We have one more comment that has come in. This person says, morning, Sandra, loving the topic. When you don't pay your workers, isn't that called slavery? Cut your clothes according to your cloth. If you can't afford it, do without. When you beg or borrow from people, you put yourself in their hand. Nobody gonna chat me. Preach, Sandra. And some people want to spend your money without touching theirs. Yep, there's that too. Anyway, folks, we had a handful today, my love. All I can tell you is we got a lot of things to hit, and we gotta hit them hard now. It's 2023. You see what our theme is for 2023? Bigger, better, and bolder. We're not taking any prisoners. The truth will be told. And it's my estimation that the truth has an ability to really set you free. If you're honest with yourself and about your own shortcomings, honest in your families, honest in our communities, politicians need to try and learn to be honest. We will go so much farther. El Ray, hey, he says, wah, 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 like an ambulance. Yes, honey child. Jonathan says $800. Nah, can't get no penthouse for that. Well, I don't care where the money is. You find the money and you pay this man his money. He's a young Caymanian trying to do his own little thing. All right, 2 choppers over Bodden Town. A certain politician wrote a letter for a young Cuban girl to get a rental apartment for herself. You did not hear this from me. Oh my God. Bars set up in them warehouses by ropers using a false name. Oh yeah? Let's out this one too then. What her name is? Oh God. We're gonna do a whole expose today on all of them. Oh yeah? Enforcement, y'all watching the show today? Here's one that seems you need to go after. They say she got bars set up. What a scandal. Who this one is? Sandra Miller. Who the hell Sandra Miller is? That's not the Sandra Miller I know. There's another one named Sandra Miller. Enforcement, go get her. Bring her in. Talk to her. Fake businesses set up all over the place. One by one, we can definitely out y'all. Immigration can't do it. They're too afraid. CBC, oh, this, that, next thing. Well, the cold hard truth can get you. The cold hard truth. Richard says the whole statement is the truth will set you free, but not until it's done with you. Yes, honey child. Straight from our theme song, The Cold Hard Truth. Ay. Oh, no, I never saw this one. What this one is about? No. This one says she complained to CBC about a lady and her sister in the work permit and nothing was ever done. Okay. Well, y'all gonna clearly have to start sending us these messages and we're gonna just have to add them ourselves and then maybe CBC can do something then. Morning, caller.
Hello, Miss Sandra. I'm just calling about the dog that I saw you have up. The dog is currently at the Fairbanks prison.
A job that I have up?
Yeah, I saw a dog on here. Yes, a dog with a blue collar on the neck.
Oh, a dog.
A dog, yes.
Oh, I thought you said a job because I was gonna say I ain't hiring nobody. Well, listen, I'm still on air, so let me call you back after the show.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that.
Yes, no problem. Yeah, we're gonna help y'all find your dogs and the scammers at the same time. All right, we could go on forever, but we gotta wrap it up. All kind of scandalous behavior. Yes, sir. Hot mess. All right. This one says if it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. Ooh, honey child. Let me save this. Yes, that's good. No more business licenses for recruitment agencies and real estate companies. A real Caymanian is a person who's a registered voter. Sandy, WORC and CBC need to register the information for every birth, death, marriage, divorce, and name change in one central system. In addition, every criminal should be recorded against the individual or company, every criminal offense. Well, if we could get that national ID going, we'd be one step closer to having that type of uniform system. That's the whole idea behind it. But yet we have people in the community who jumping up and down who don't want that. It makes you wonder. Speak the truth and shame the devil. Well, I reckon we've shamed the devil a little bit today. He might be sitting in his corner wondering what the heck got into Sandy. What was that tea, that super blend that she was drinking again? Folks, thank you so much for tuning into the program. Bigger, better, and bolder for 2023 is our motto. If it's a little bit too big for you, a little bit too bold for you, a little bit too better for you, then, like I always say, we're not everybody's cup of tea. We never claim to be. You have a choice. I really hope that as Caymanians, we are choosing the choice to stand on the side of right. We don't want to become lawless like some other people. Yeah. where everything is tinged with I can buy my way out of this. I can do this. I can pay off somebody. I don't have to follow the laws. Let's be a society and a community that loves law from the sense of we want to be compliant. We want to follow the law, and we go out of our way to ensure that we are doing so for the betterment of everyone in this country. 1 or 2 people can't profit while everybody else who's trying to follow the law is going to have such a hard time. There has to be some acceptance that if we're not careful, this situation is going to get away from us. Folks, have a beautiful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, God's willing, 7:30 a.m.
Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Here's a summary of some of Cayman's latest headlines. 21-year-old Corey Andrew Miles, who police recently circulated as wanted in relation to firearm offenses, has been arrested. Cayman Airways was advised by the Cayman Islands Fire Service that the fire truck in Little Cayman is currently out of service, and therefore, Cayman Airways Express flights were unable to operate Monday and were cancelled. Dr. Mark Lockhart has resigned from the Mental Health Commission, lamenting that he does not think the Cayman Islands is doing enough for mental health. In a letter to CMR, an expat shares their frustration and highlights flaws with various Cayman Islands sporting bodies and corporate entities. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise just after 7, mostly sunny skies when the temperature's at 82 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity at 72% like the forecast calls for. It will feel like it's in the low 90s. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour and the sun sets at 6:04. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the mid 70s. Looking forward, similar weather conditions are expected. If you would like to know more on any of these stories, visit CaymanMallRoad.com or follow Cayman Mall Road on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. That's it for now on A Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.